What else we bro? Salvation. Hey, you got many mansions. Think about salvation, get the dancing. My flesh vain, it's my heart not trouble, I will pain. We trust in Abba, he the one that kill your problems. We thinking Abba, now we know about that lava. The streets of gold, walking on that road, I can't sell my soul. Hell no, I'ma be the light everywhere I go. Ain't no vaccine up in the temple. The devil know that the most I dwelling in you. They tryna shoot you up, that should really offend you.
My cry for mercy as I call on you for help, as I lift up my hands towards your most holy place. I just wanna be worthy. I just wanna be
Shalawam, 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 shalom, peace and blessings to everybody out there. Before we get started, let's give praises, honor, glory, esteem to the Father, the Ancient of Days, the Giver of Life, the Taker of Life, our Father, Yahawah, and His only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahawashi. Once again, shalawam, shalom, peace and blessings to all of the Ahchyam out there, all of the Ahchwathyam, the brothers and sisters that are scattered to the four corners of the earth. I say peace and blessings to you, shalom. Do the ministry a favor, if you can, if you will, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit that share button. If you believe the message is edifying, please share it. Today, we have a good one here today. As you can see on the screen, it says, study to show thyself approved. Many people read that, but I just wanted to take a little time today on this first day of the week to kind of break bread and go over some things. So as time progresses on, we'll get deeper into the scriptures. But before we go into, I want to play a short video to get the rakah, get the spirit moving, get everything, going, and allow time for people to still join in. The link is in the description box for this actual video. This brother did a beautiful job. All the brothers are doing a beautiful job. I'm going to play it. If you like it, go to the description box, hit the link. You can see it, you can show it, you can share it. So I'm going to play it. Hopefully you enjoy it. Here we go. And like I say, for those who may come in later that may miss it, I'll play it going out before we leave out of the lesson for today. Here we go.
Yeah. Prophets ain't dead. Just waiting on the right voice. Yeah. 7 left for the show. They ain't wanna listen when the word came. Now the storm about to fall with a pure flame. Judgment in the wind, no one else to blame. He hit his face, now they calling names. Got a chain, can't sleep through the signs. They playing with sin like it fine. Zephaniah said that they gon' shine, but only for the chosen line. Yeah. Prophecy rolling, I'm back in the city. Judah in motion, but most looking pity. I would change, but the heart's still gritty. Trying to find truth where the world look pretty. Rap in the sky, no light and smoke. Israel blind, but the prophet woke. Ain't no peace when the trumpet spoke. That day gon' hit like fire and choke. Manasseh sin, the prophet's bled. Zephaniah won what the Lord then said. The fake gon' fold, the real get fed. In the day of wrath, ain't nothing led. The Most High hid his face from lies. Judgment coming like fire from skies. You better move right, better realize. Before that day when the proud man died. They ain't wanna listen when the word came. Now the storm about to fall with a pure flame. Judgment in the wind, no one else blame. He hit it fast, now they calling names. You got a chain, can't sleep through the sign. They playing with sin like it's fine. said that they gon' shine, but only for the chosen line. He said, gather up fast. Nation, I desire this truth gon' last. Before that decree, before that blast. Repent now, don't wait till the wrath. They mocking now, but the trumpet near. When the sky crack open, no man cheer. Fire in the heaven, fear gon' sear, and the wicked gon' drown in tears. But the righteous hears, let it plan. Living there spoke it, I understand. This a real walk, not a brand. I move for the king, not the gram. They preaching lies for a little blue check, but I'm building up Zion neck by neck. Every bar I spit, it's a soul I protect. They forgot who we are, there, what he resurrect. They ain't wanna listen when the word came. Now the storm about to fall with a pure flame. Judgment in the wind, no one else to blame. He hit his fade, now they call his name. Gotta change, can't sleep through the sign. They playing with sin like it's fine. Zephaniah said that they gon' shine, but only for the chosen line.
Hopefully, you guys enjoyed that. For those who missed it, I'll be playing it again as I exit out the lesson today. Let's go to this real quick. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 14, to start the lesson off. What is the study? What is the lesson about? Study to show thyself approved. Yes, it's 2 Timothy, but I'm not going to go straight to 2 Timothy. We're going to read a little bit more than just 2 Timothy. If you have your Bibles, if you have your laptop or your computers, whatever you have, please get it. Get your pen, your paper. You know, write these things down so you can go back and study them and go over them yourself. Don't believe what I say. Believe what the words say. And once again, Shalawam, shalom, peace and blessings to anybody joining in. We have Ahchwathyam in the building. The water for being here. All praises to the Most High that you are here, that he has barak you with another day to serve him as his servant here on this earth that we live on. So the water for sharing your time and being here on the platform today. And that's anybody that joins in at any time. So the water, you know. The book of Psalms, once again, this is a Psalm of David. It said, the fool have said in his heart, there is no power. There is no Most High. In the Hebrew, there is no Allah. There is no Elohim, right? They are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good. Verse 2, YAHAWAH looked down from the Shemayim upon the children of man to see if there were any that did understand and seek the Most High. So the Most High is constantly looking down upon us to see what is man doing down here in the earth. Is there anyone really seeking me out? Is there anyone really calling upon me? Is there anyone really studying my word? You know, briefly, we were touching about this earlier today when we was having a conversation that a lot of things are stepping stones in our life. You know, where we start and where we end up is something totally different. And we continue to grow. One thing about the truth and knowledge is that it continually grows. When you grasp something this time, you know, in this month, somebody may talk to you 6 months from now and your knowledge has increased and you're no longer where you were 6 months ago. Why? Because knowledge and truth steady evolves for us as long as you keep seeking it. As long as you keep going after the Most High, he will keep opening up your understanding to bring you closer and closer to him. Verse 3, it says, they are all gone aside. They are all together become filthy. There is none that doeth good. No, not one. You could be that one that's doing good, that's seeking the Most High. You don't have to follow everybody else. This is what I always tell people. I tell my children and I tell myself, you don't have to follow what everybody else do in this world. Be your own person. Be a man of the Most High. Be a woman of the Most High. And don't always listen to what a pastor or a preacher or somebody is telling you. Learn the word for yourself. Because as we read, even in the New Testament, a lot of those so-called shepherds that were looking over the people were putting what? Burdens on them. Just like they tried to do with YAHAWAH when they said, hey, you know, you letting your apostles eat without washing their hands. That's a sin. YAHAWAH was like, what? What do you mean? You telling me it's a sin for me to eat something without washing my hands? Like, where did you get that from? Where's that written at? So men will put extra burdens on you that's not actually written in the very word. So this is why I encourage people to read the word for their self. Verse 4, have all the workers of iniquity no knowledge? All the people that sin against the Most High, that break his law, statute, and commandments, do they not have knowledge? Who eat of my people as they eat bread, meaning they consume us like it's a piece of bread, and call not upon who? Yahweh. There were they in great fear, for the Most High is in the generation of who? The righteous. Call upon the Most High for whatever. It tells us that in the book of Proverbs. Call upon him. Even when you good and even when you down, call upon him. I'm going to just go right to it. Verse 5 and 6. Right? It says, trust in Yahweh with all thy heart and lean not unto thy own understanding. So no matter what you thinking in yourself, in your head, in your mind, how low you may feel, how disgusting you may feel of yourself, don't lean onto your own understanding, because you don't know how the Most High feels about you or what he's thinking of you. This is why in the very next verse it says, in all thy ways acknowledge him. I don't care if you don't think you're a good person or a righteous person, or you think you this type of person, or whatever you think of yourself. You still call and acknowledge who? The Most High. And he tells you, and he, if you call on him, he shall direct thy paths. He will work with you. He will start to work with you. But you know, a lot of people, since they haven't read these things, since they haven't studied these things, they don't really even know where to start at. And this is what happened in verse 7. What happens with that individual? We've all been there, if you're honest. You start to make decisions on your own, being wise in your own eyes. And as it says in verse 7, be not wise in thy own eyes. Fear Yahweh and depart from evil. So in our eyes, we can think that we're doing the best thing. We can think that we're living in a wise way of life. But we have to go to the word to see if that's really what's true. That's where we get our discernment from. That's where we know if we doing what's right or we doing what's wrong. And that's why he delivered his word, because he wanted us to know down here on the earth what is right and what is wrong, right? Romans chapter 15. Romans 15. Verse 4 is what I want. Romans 15 and 4. It says, for whatsoever things were written. Why would the Most High take time to have people write these things down? Because he knew at a period in time he would have some people down here, some of his people down here, that would need to read these things, that would need to study these things. That's why Paul is letting us know. He's not talking about the New Testament. The New Testament wasn't even around here then. These letters that they're writing wasn't even compiled yet. So when he's saying the things that were written, he's talking about what? The Tanakh, the Torah, the prophets, the writings. That's what he's talking about. He's not talking about the New Testament. So Paul is pointing us back to where? The Tanakh. Or people would say the Old Testament. That's what he's pointing us to. If you have studied and done the research, you will know that these things where the New Testament wasn't even compiled and actually put into a book and what they call biblios, right? This is where you get the word Bible from, until maybe the 4th and 5th century. And I'm talking about the epistles. I'm talking about the letters. I'm talking about all of these things. And even when they did that, it was still against the law. It was still against the law for you to be able to read the Bible. And once it was in Greek, it was in Latin, it was in all these things. Hold on. It didn't come into existence into the English until a later time. I believe it was the Tinsdale or the Geneva. I think either I got it wrong on one of them, but I know it was the Tinsdale, then the King James. And the Tinsdale got theirs from the Geneva, and you got many more, the Latin Vulgate and all these different things when you go into those researches and studies and things like that. But it was always illegal or against the law to read the Bible back then. It wasn't for the noble or the common man. You had to go to the priest. And that's why so many people got slaughtered, burned at the stake, and all these type of things. This is why they murdered Tinsdale, because he was trying to turn the Bible or write the Bible into English. They killed him before. If you do the research on the Tinsdale Bible, pull that up. And you will find out that they actually killed that man, murdered him before he was able to complete the Bible, because they didn't want nobody to be reading, the common man to be reading the Bible. So anyway, to make a long story short, it says, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning. And if you believe Paul writings and you believe Paul had the Rakah, the spirit, or the Kodash Rakah, the Holy Spirit, some may say in the modern Hebrew, the Ruach HaKodesh, right? If you believe Paul had the spirit of the Most High, then he's telling you these things were written what? Aforetime. For what? Our learning. So men took the time in the spirit to write these things down for us. Why? So when the time came, these things that were written can be delivered to us or you. And then you would do what? You would study that very word. Which would what? Ignite your spirit. And as Paul says, your spirit will bear what? Witness that you are a child of the Most High. These things are put on you to be called. This is why a man can read the Bible, have the word, but have no understanding of what the word actually says. Isn't it a beautiful thing? They even asked Hamashiach YAHAWAH, why do you talk to the people in parables? That's what they asked him. Why do you talk? Why can't you just tell us plainly? And he told them, having eyes, people can't see, and having ears, people can't hear. So if I talk to you plainly, somebody may understand what it is that I'm saying. But when I talk to you in parables, 1,000 people can stand in front of me, but they're not going to understand what I'm saying because I'm telling them in a parable. Only those that have the understanding of the Most High would realize and have the understanding of what I'm actually saying. And when you think about it, he every time he talked to people, he talked to them what? In a parable format. And even the apostles at times didn't get the understanding to where he had to come back later when they were by themselves and break it down to them because they didn't have the understanding that they needed yet. That's why I said truth is always growing. They believed in Hamashiach, Peter had actually said that he would never that he would never no, I can't say you, man. Peter said that he would never deny Hamashiach Yahushai. But Hamashiach Yahushai knew at a period of point in time that he would deny him. The water for that. You know, Hasatan try to creep in any way he can. They ain't barked all day. Soon as I get on here, they want to bark. But Yahushai knew that Hasatan was going to come and tempt Peter, and that Peter was going to fail at that time. But did that take Hamashiach Yahushai away from leaving the church unto Peter? No, because he knew Peter was going to grow into that. He wanted to be that, but he just wasn't there quite yet, which lets us know that we are always what? Evolving. We're always growing in what? Truth. As it says, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures. So he's telling you, he's talking about the scriptures. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, 1 Corinthians, 2 Corinthians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, Revelation, 1 Peter, 2 Peter, 1 Timothy, all those are epistles. Those are letters. Those are not scriptures. Okay? If you didn't know, you know now. All those are letters and which are called epistles. Scripture is from Genesis to Malachi. So this is what Paul is talking about. Scripture, the things that he read. Paul didn't read the New Testament. Neither did Peter. Neither did Timothy. None of these men read a New Testament. What did they read? Scripture. The same thing that you should read. And when you read it, he says, through what? Patience, because you're not going to get it all at one time. This is why you have to study to show thyself approved, because you're not going to get it all at once. The Most High doesn't work like that. He's not going to just pour all the anointing on you. He didn't even give everything to a Mashiach Yahushai. He said it out his own mouth. He told us out his own mouth. So through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope, that we can put our trust in what the prophet said, what the Torah says, what the writing says, what the whole Tanakh says. We can put our trust, we can put our faith in that. And if he didn't give it all to his own son at one time, what makes he think he's going to give it to you at one time? Let me get that real quick. For somebody say, well, no, he had it all. He knew everything, right? Let's get it. Acts. Let me see where it's at. Here it is. Acts 1 and 5 and 6. Really it's 6, but I'm going to read 5. For John truly baptized with water, but ye shall be baptized with the Quadash Rakah, not many days hence, right? So that thing that John was doing, yeah, that was cool because you was baptized in the water, you know. That's like going up to the pew at a church saying you want to be saved and everybody clapping and, you know, giving you hugs and, you know, they happy that you want to change your life and you want to give your life to a Mashiach Yahushai. Yeah, that's cool. But what you going to do after the claps go away? What you going to do when you're not in the church anymore? What you going to do when you by yourself and there's nobody around? What you going to do then? So this is what he's talking about. You had to be baptized with the what? Quadash Rakah, the Holy Spirit. Verse 6, it says, when they therefore were come together, who? Hamashiach and the disciples, they asked of him, Master, wilt thou at this time restore the kingdom to Israel? Verse 7, he answered and said unto them, it is not for you to know the times or the seasons. So it's things that you won't know. He's telling you. This is our brother, the Savior, Hamashiach. He letting them know, listen, it's not for you to know that. You worried about things that you have no idea. It's not, you should, don't even worry about that. It ain't for you to know, period. And then he tells them, which the Father have put in his own power. Right? So he kind of hit him with a gut punch, knocked the wind out of him. Boom. They wasn't, what I mean by that is they wasn't kind of ready for that response. You know how somebody tell you something and you wasn't really ready for that response? You was like, whoa, it kind of took you back. But then at the same time, he delivered something good to him in verse 8. He said, but ye shall receive power. So now the ears is, they kind of flickered up. I'm going to receive power. Hold on. Okay. I'm getting myself together now. I'm going to receive power after that the Quadash Rakah is come upon you, and ye shall be witnesses unto me both in Jerusalem and in Judea, or all Judea, and in Samaria, and unto the uttermost parts of the earth. So they didn't get the answer that they wanted, but look what they got after the gut punch, so to say. They knew that they was going to receive power from the Spirit, the Rakah, and then they was going to be witnesses of Hamashiach Yahushai. And not only Jerusalem, but Judea, but not only those places, it says to the uttermost parts of the earth. I'm giving you a task. And in that task, I'm going to give you power. Be worried about that. Be focused on that. Don't worry about the things that's in the Father's power. And sometimes, like I say, we overstep our bounds and be worried about things that you can't control and you don't have no power over. It's not even given to you. But people want to know, people love to hear all these breakdowns about this and about that and about Solomon was Hamashiach Yahushai and this. And hey, if that's your thing, all praises. All praises. But at the same time, he's telling you don't be worried about all those things. And I'm going to show you more things in the scripture. I'm going to show you more things in the scripture. Let's read some of this real quick. The Aqua Authority said, Khan, I don't want any extra burdens or stress. We already got enough things we got to do. Not that the word of the Most High is a burden or stressful, but we already got enough things. We got 613 things that we need to worry about. Now, a lot of that stuff is not on a man or a woman. A lot of that stuff for the priests and things of this nature. But at the same time, we have other things that we have to be worried about. Plus life in general. So we don't need no man coming along talking about, hey, you sin because you didn't wash your hands. What? What? You sin because you didn't comb your hair today. What? Like where's that at? What verse is that? It's the same thing Hamashiach Yahushua said, wait a minute. And then she also says right here, Khan, he was merciful toward us and made sure we would find out what we needed to know. He would not allow us to be ignorant of the things that are paramount, if I'm saying that correctly, to our lives. Hallelujah. Khan. And that's just complete honesty right there. That's all that is. And if you really read and study and know the word and have a relationship with him.
That was a reference to Tinsdale.
Oh, to the Tinsdale?
Yeah.
Oh, you can cut. Hey.
I'm cooking.
Oh, I was gonna say you can leave it open then, and then you can come in when you want to.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. She said that was in reference to the Tinsdale Bible. Con. And that's why I be telling people now that don't know, if you've never heard of the Tinsdale Bible, Google it, look into it, do a little research for yourself. Don't believe me. Do it for yourself. And then you can keep going. I encourage you to keep going. Go into the Geneva Bible. Go into, the Codex. Go to the P46. I'm not going to tell you what they is because I want you to look them up. The P46, the P51, go to all that. Just keep going. Like the Bible says, you can never go far enough for the Most High. You know, you can never go far enough for the Most High. Khan, all praises. So let's go here. Let's dive a little deeper. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 29. Right? Deuteronomy chapter 29. It says, keep therefore, start at verse 9. Keep therefore the words of this covenant and do them. How will we know to keep the words of this covenant if we don't read it? See, if you listen to a man up on the pew on Sunday and he telling you that the law is done away with, that the Old Testament is pretty much voided out, that it's the latter, as they call it, then you would never go to this and read this. For what? He already told you that it's done away with, and that's the latter. We somewhere else now. So you wouldn't know to do what? Keep the words of his covenant and do them, that you may prosper in all that you do. You will never know this, that the Most High himself is telling you that you will prosper in everything it is that you put your hand to, if you keep the words of the covenant. Are the people doing that? No. They say that that covenant is done away with. That very word that was delivered, it was nailed to the cross. We don't have to do that anymore. Peter had a vision. Now we can eat crab, pork, shrimp, lobster, clams, and so forth and so forth. And I point those things out all the time because that's a plague upon our people, a real big plague, especially when it comes to Christianity and things of that nature, you know. And right after this, I'm gonna read this and I'm gonna play a short video of Ahchyam, a brother of ours, Ahch, that kind of goes into this thing about Christianity and when people call each other Elohim or YAHAWAH. You get what I mean? For those who know that Hebrew. Or you could just say in English, the G-O-D. And he kind of goes into it, how Christians get mad when he calls another Ahch, you know, YAHAWAH or Elohim. And because they lack the knowledge and they're not studying to show themselves approved, they come at people that are more knowledgeable than them, and then they curse and they do a lot of evil. They bring forth a lot of evil, which shows that the type of rakah or spirit that they are in, without really understanding the true meaning of these words. Verse 10, ye stand this day, all of you, before Yahawah, your power, your captains of your tribes, your elders, and your officers, with all the men of Israel, your little ones, your wives, and thy stranger that is in the camp, from the hewer of thy wood and the drawer of thy water. So even then, the strangers that was amongst the nation of Israel, they had tasks that they were doing. They were drawing the wood and they were getting the water for the Israelites. The same thing that will be present in the kingdom. Verse 12, that thou shouldest enter into a covenant with Yahawah, thy power. For those who don't know, I'm going to say it. You might say, well, why is he saying power? Because when it's talking about the Most High, it's talking about that one, right? The one. And in Hebrew, that one would be Allah, right? That's the word in Hebrew, which just means power. When you're speaking about a multitude or plural, you would say Elohim, or in an ancient Hebrew or the Lashawan Kadash, you would say Elohayim, which just means powers, right? So I just use the word power so people will know. And then it says, and into his oath, which Yahawah thy power maketh thee this day. that he may establish thee today for a people unto himself, and that he may be unto thee a power, as he have said unto thee, and as he has sworn unto thy fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob's name was changed to Israel, henceforth where we get the 12 tribes of Israel from, when he wrestled with who? That Malak. Or that angel, for those who don't know what Malak means. Now he is establishing something right here. He's telling you. So for someone to say that that's done and over and it's nailed to the cross, that means they're lying on the Most High. They saying that the Most High word does not exist forever. That's what they're saying. And this is how we have to take it, that they're liars and they're lying on your Father, our Abba, Yahawah, because he has established this. So that's a very serious thing that Christians are doing. And I can't even say all Christians, because, you have some Seventh-day Adventists, they keep the Sabbath day. It's other things that they don't keep. You have Jehovah's Witnesses that keep certain things. They don't, they don't celebrate holidays and this, that, and the third. They try to keep some things that are Most High. But the reason they not right, and it's a religion or religious, is because man started those things. And when you look into them, you will find out who started Jehovah's Witness. The name is on my tongue, and I already did the research on it, but I just can't think about it right now. But his name will come to me. But he started the Jehovah's Witness, just like somebody started the Baptist church, just like somebody started the Methodist church. Most of these men that started these things were Edomites, That's what they were, period. And we know that the word wasn't given to them. So why would they go off and start a church when the word wasn't even given to them? It was already established prior with who? The Israelites. It was already established. So how you going to go off and establish and start another church when the churches you say was already established here, right here in Deuteronomy? He says, I'm establishing it. Did he not just say that? He said, listen, all your captains, all tribes, telling you have to be from the tribe, your elders, your officers, with all the men of who? Israel. He already did it. And you can't run to the new covenant and say it's different. Let me cancel that real quick. And we're going to go right back to Deuteronomy 29. Let me cancel that real quick, because I know if it's a Christian in here, they're going to say, but we in the new covenant. Let me go there, and I'm going to read it in the New Testament for you. Hebrews 8:8 or 8:7. For if the first covenant had been faultless, then should no place be sought for the second. For finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come, saith Yahawah, when I will make a new covenant. Who is he making this new covenant with? Here it is right here. With the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. The reason he had to say Israel and Judah is because they separated, and you had a northern kingdom and a southern kingdom. Most people know this, right? But he's going to bring them back together and make it one nation again, as it always was. That's the separation. So the covenant, whether you believe the old or the new, is for who? Israel, and with who? The house of Judah. It doesn't say anybody else in here. Doesn't say anybody else. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand and led them out of the land of Egypt. Because why? They continue not in my covenant. And what? I regarded them not, saith Yahawah. Now, why did he have to make a new covenant? It tells you right here. Because they did what? They didn't continue in my what? Covenant. They sinned. They broke the law. They broke the law. And this is the whole purpose of Mashiach Yahushua comes back. He tells you this in the next chapter. Go to chapter 9. I wasn't even going to bring this out, but all praises be to the Most High through the Rakah. You know, he tells you this. I'm going to get it all for you to make it plain. Neither by the blood of goats or calves, but by his blood, he entered in once to the Quadash place, having obtained eternal redemption. Eternal redemption, right? For if the blood of bulls and of goats, ashes, heifers, sprinkling the unclean, sanctified to the purifying of the flesh, how much more shall the blood of the anointed one, Hamashiach, who through the eternal Rakah offered himself without spot to the Most High. He offered himself up to the Most High. Why? Because the children of Israel were in a covenant with the Most High. And there had to be a righteous sacrifice to the Most High to cleanse all of the sin that they had committed against the Most High. This is why he said he's going to do what? Create another covenant, because Hamashiach Yahushua, he fulfilled that for Israel. Now their sins are wiped clean, a clean slate. Hold on, let me close this door because now the birds is going crazy. Thank you. The water. Okay. Like it said, purge your conscience from dead works to serve the living who? Most High. Here it is, verse 15. And for this cause, he is the mediator of the New Testament. This is why Hamashiach, Yahawashi, the anointed one, is the mediator. It's telling you right here why he is the mediator. This is why you need to study to show yourself approved. Because somebody may have these questions. And then Peter says, always be ready to give an answer with patience and meekness. So you as a believer, you have to know these things, because somebody might approach you one day and say, hey, why do you believe in this and in this way? What you're telling me, I've never heard before. They don't tell me these things in the church that I'm in. They don't tell me these things in the congregation I'm in. They don't tell me these things in the camp that I'm in. Just because you join a camp don't mean you're going to get taught the truth. They just like churches. But it tells us right here in Hebrews 9 and 15, and for this cause, he is the mediator of what? The New Testament. Does anybody know what the word testament means? Testament just means covenant. That's all testament means, covenant. So really it's talking about what? The new covenant, that by means of death for the redemption of the transgressions that were under the first what? Testament. Let me get the comparative text so I can show you on the screen so nobody don't be running talking about it said testament. It didn't say covenant. Let me see if it says it in here. Yeah, there it is. It even said it covenant in the New King James right here. You can see it right there, right? And most people know the word testament means covenant. That's not a big thing, right? So you can see it here in the New King James. You can see it here in the NLT. And then it's easy. It says, this is why he, Hamashiach, is the one who mediates the new what? Covenant. He mediates the new covenant between the Most High and people. You see how they threw the wordplay in there? People. All of a sudden it's people. What happened to Israel right there? All of a sudden now it's people. So that all who are called can receive eternal inheritance. Isn't it something? The Most High has promised them. Who did the Most High promise eternal inheritance? He only promised that to Israel. For Hamashiach died to set them free from the penalty of the sins they had committed under the first what? Covenant. So it's telling you point blank, no ifs, ands about it, that Hamashiach, the anointed one, he died to do what? Set free the penalty of sins that all of the Israelites had committed under that first what? Covenant. It tells you right there. That's his sole purpose for coming to the earth. Being hung on the tree, being spat on, pierced on the side, blood and water leak. All those things happen, what? To fulfill the punishment of those people that was under the first covenant. And those people that was under the first covenant were all Israelites. They were all Israelites. And then after that, now the Most High can move forward with the new covenant with his son because he shed the blood. That's why he's the mediator. And move forward and bring Israel and Judah together, like it said in Hebrews 8:8. You know, so I just wanted to show that real quick. Let's go back to Deuteronomy where we was. I just wanted to show that. So he's making this covenant here in Deuteronomy with the wives, the strangers, everybody, right? Israel. Well, I can't say everybody. I'm going to say Israel. The strangers was there, but whatever Israel has to do, you're going to put that on the strangers too. You know, they can't just be living buck wild and they're in the same gates as us. You know what I mean? That's why when it comes to the Sabbath day and when he says it in the book of Exodus, what he say? Nobody could do any work. Not your ox, not your cow, not nothing. Your manservant, your maidservant, nobody. They under the same regime as you. Whatever the Most High say, hey, that go for them too. I bet not catch you out there wiping windows on the Shabbat, and you my maid. Matter of fact, you shouldn't. You ain't even supposed to be here. You supposed to be rested. But back then they lived inside our gates. But you know, but nowadays if you had a maid, you can't come to my house on the Shabbat. You better not be in there trying to clean something up. Verse 12. That thou shalt enter into a covenant with Yahawah thy power and his oath, which Yahawah thy power maketh with thee this day, that he may establish thee today for a people unto himself, and that he may be unto thee a power. We have to understand that the Most High is our power, as he have said unto who? Abraham, our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Neither with you only do I make this covenant and this oath. He's making it very clear that he just doesn't make it with the people that's there that day. So it don't matter if you was there or not. But with him that standeth here with us this day before Yahawah, our power, and also with him that is not here with us this day. So it don't even matter if you was born or not yet. He's telling you. You don't get away from this just because you wasn't born, just because you wasn't there at this particular day at this time. You don't get away from it. He's telling you. I'm making a covenant with those that are not here and with those that are here. For you know how we have dwelt in the land of Egypt, and how we came through the nations which ye passed by. You seen them. Right? He telling you, them people, the Edomites, remember they had to ask permission. For those who are studied and have read, when the children of Israel came out and they were going all of these places through the lands, they had to go and ask permission because they crossed through people's land. Most of them said no, which made the trip longer because they had to go around instead of crossing through. So they had to go all the way around. And most of the time, like Edom, the Moabites, these people, they said no. But not only did they say no, they came out and wanted to go to war against them. When you read it. But when they was able to pass and go around in these things, they seen what? They abominations, he said. And you seen their abominations. You see them today. When you go to the church, you see that big old cross hanging up in there. You see them statues up in there. You see the pictures on the wall. Those are abominations. Any church you go into, they got pictures, cross, anything you could rub, but they bet not have a statue of a baby or something in there talking about that's a Mashiach. Or a picture of, that idol. That's an abomination to the Most High. So you see it just as they seen it then, you see it today. And it says, and their idols, wood, stone. Sometimes I feel sorry for our Muslim brothers that worship that stone. But they call it the Kaaba, something like that. I'm not going to speak ill of them because we got a lot of our brothers that are into that stuff. All praises to the Most High that he may pull them out of there and bring them to the truth, And they may serve him in a righteous way, But like I said, he scattered us to all four corners of the earth. That's why some of our people are in that. Then we got other people that are scattered in other places that are bowing down to what? Silver and gold, stone. They make the statue and then pour it with gold or pour it with silver, and then they go and rub it and touch on it. Which were among them, he says, lest thou should be among you men or women or family or tribe whose heart turneth away this day from Yahawah, our power, to go and serve those deities of those nations. Telling you those other nations, they got deities too. They got idols. Lest thou should be among you a root that beareth gall and wormwood. And it come to pass when he heareth the words of this curse that he exalt himself, bless or barak, which means to exalt himself in his heart, saying, I shall have peace, though I walk in the imagination of my heart, to add drunkenness to thirst. And this is what our people have done. Sad to say. Why? Because they don't study. They don't read. So they're walking in what? The imagination of their heart. That's why they have that image in their house. That's why they bow down. And their shepherd that they're following are not leading them or teaching them the right things. This is why I encourage people to study for yourself. Read the Bible for yourself. Yahawah will not spare them. Yahawah won't spare him. But the anger of Yahawah and his jealousy shall smoke against that man. And all the curses that are written in this book shall lie upon him. And Yahawah shall blot out his name from under the Shemayim. And Yahawah shall separate him unto evil out of all the tribes of Israel, according to all the curses of the covenant that are written in this book of the law. The average person don't even know what the curses are. They never read them. Ask a Christian. Ask anybody that's a believer, that's a Methodist or a Baptist or a Presbyterian or a non-denomination. Even ask some Israelites that are in camps. They don't know. They have no idea what the book of the law says. They just kind of heard about being an Israelite. They bought some fringes, put it on their shirt, and they just kind of, saying, Yahawah and whatnot. And they, taking pictures, posting them on Facebook and Instagram and, things of that nature. Not really studying, not really knowing. They just kind of listen to what the guy says on YouTube. And if, that's pretty much it. So that generation to come of your children that shall rise up after you, and the stranger that shall come from a far land shall say, when they see this plagues on that land and the sickness which Yahawah have laid upon it, letting you know that the Most High did all these things. He's telling you the whole land of what? Brimstone, that's fire, salt burning, Nothing is there anymore. Just like when you go to Sodom and Gomorrah, just saying right here, when you go over there, many people don't win. What do they find? That brimstone. All ash everywhere. You could just pick up a piece and put fire to it and it ignite. I've seen it. I've watched many things on it and it just ignite right then and there. It's still there to this very day. It's still there. And the Most High did it like that with Sodom and Gomorrah and all these other places. So it will be what? A witness. You can go there. You can visit there. You can actually put your hand on it. It's a wasteland. There's nothing there right now. But brimstone, salt, like he messed up the water over there. That's why no fish can live in there. And they was amazed that the times is changing and some fish was found in there. They was like, oh, what's going on? It must be the end times. Verse 24, it says, even all nations shall say, wherefore have Yahawah done thus unto this land? What meaneth the heat of this great anger? Then men shall say, because they have what? Forsaken the covenant. That's what we have done. We have forsaken the covenant of Yahawah, our power, of their fathers, which he made with them when he brought them forth out of the land of Egypt. For they went and served other deities and worshiped them, deities whom they knew not, and whom he have not given unto them. And this is what our people, like I say, this is what's going on. Because they don't read. They don't read. They don't study. Christians, man, a Christian will go to church. This is anybody. Let me just stop saying Christian, because this could be anybody. They go to service, they go to camp, they go to church. They may have a Bible. Some of them don't even take the Bible with them. And then they just go. And as we was talking about today, you might ask them after the service, hey, what was the service about? And they like, oh, it was a good one. I'm not quite sure what it was about. Oh, let me think about it. That, but it was, he preached a good service though, but they don't even know what the service was about. So you sat in there for 2 hours while a man preached to you for not even 2 hours, because they let the choir for an hour and 15 minutes. You know, they taking collection for 30 minutes. So he probably gave you about 30 to 40 minutes of preaching. And in that 30, 40 minutes of preaching, you don't even know what the lesson was about. So you didn't even get fed your bread for the day. You was just there, a lump on the log. And that's what's going on. Nobody is studying to show themselves approved. Nobody is turning to the Father and looking to him, like I read in Psalms 14. Nobody is looking for righteousness. Nobody is looking for truth. They're content and happy with the way things are going in their life. And they think when they get some money or revenue, or they take a trip and they say, oh, it was all praise, no. Satan give you things too. He promised many things to Hamashiach Yahushua. Read Matthew chapter 4 when he was tempted. Just because you get something does not mean it's from the Most High. Especially if it's going to cause you to go further or far out of the way. Remember, money is the what? Root of all. Yeah. 27. And the anger of Yahawah was kindled against this land to bring upon it all the curses that are written in this book. Like I said, they don't even know the curses. And Yahawah rooted them out of their land in anger. That's why we are scattered to the four corners of the earth. And in wrath and in great indignation, and cast them into the, listen, here it is right here, and cast them into what? Other land. As it is this day. We're reading. This is May 3rd, 2026, and we're still in those other lands. As it says right here, as it is this day, May 3rd, 2026, you are still in the other land. 29. The secret things belong unto Yahawah, our power, but those things which are revealed belong unto us. Like I told you, truth is always growing because he's always revealing more of his truth to us that are seeking him. And to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law. Now, with this being said, I know it took a pretty amount of time to read that, but with that being said, I'm going to play this brother real quick. This that's speaking on the church, just speaking on Christianity, just because of the way we talk to one another, and they hear us talking in the Hebrew dialect when we might say Elohim, or Elohayam, or God, or power, you know, and then they get to talking about what we don't know, we talking about, and this and that. Man, you haven't even studied. You're not even approved yet, but yet you're going to cast another or another Ahchwathyam brother or sister down because you lack the understanding. So let me share this real quick. Let me get this first. Let me see what the Ahchwathyam says. She said, we have to reset. This life is filled with what? Distractions. Full of them, you know? And it's on purpose. It is 100% on purpose. So the water for that comment. It's 100% on purpose, but you only see it, Ahchwathyam Dorothy, you only see it because you have the understanding. It's a sister out there who don't have the understanding, and those distractions that you see, she don't see. This is why we have to speak to one another and point them in the direction and say, hey, you need to get to this word. And pray to the Most High that he opens up your understanding, because without the Most High, you will never see it. So all praises for that, the water. Now I'm going to share this video, and this is for educational purposes. This is our brother Yaki, and he's going to be breaking some information down. It's a couple minutes, so I'm going to let it play, but I want you to get this info, right? Here it go.
Seems like there's no way you can't say that there was a creator that created this. It seems too perfect.
Oh, definitely.
What do you say to those who lack belief in a creator when you're looking at this as a whole?
So I can just give them small examples. The sun rises on the east at the same time every day. It sets on the west at the same time every single day. The seasons never fail to go in their seasons, ever, never. These are biological clocks of the earth inside of your body, whether you like it or not. Your body starts releasing melatonin at 9:30, whether you like it or not. When you wake up in the rising, whether you like it or not, around 6 to 7, your body releases serotonin. So we see that we have biological circadian rhythms here on earth and in our bodies. My question is this: who set the clock? If there is no God, who set the calendar? If there is no God, who set the actual clock? Then you start looking at, things that happens on a micro scale and a macro scale, as above, so below. When we start looking at our internal bodies, it's just too complex. It have to be God. And then about 15 years ago, they started digging around in DNA, and they found an actual code inside of our DNA, as if a manufacturing company stamped us before it created us. And y'all can just look this up, that your DNA actually have a written code in it in every cell of your body. Who written that code? Who do we belong to? So when you start looking at, chromosomes, and you start getting into chromophores and benzene rings and the way that we interact with the sun, biological clocks, how each cell in your body have a clock and a circadian rhythm, how the sun go up and set at the same time every single day, the seasons, the way water flow. I mean, you start looking at everything, there will have to be a creator in place. Now we got to start talking about the creator of the Matrix or the creator of the real world, because them two different creators. Right. And you start seeing them when you start reading in different ancient texts and stuff like that. Notice when you see the creator of the Matrix is all around death, it's around sacrifice, you got to give something up to live. But the creator of the entire universe, it's all around love, treating your brother as you treat yourself, loving thy neighbor and things like that. But the creator definitely exists. We did not create ourselves. And that just brings me to my next point. The last time I was here, I told the young brothers and sisters that they were God. And I noticed that a lot of Christians, man, it's thousands of Christians in our comment board saying, I don't know what I'm talking about and things like that.
Right.
But the very scripture that they read says that in Psalms 82 verse 6, ye are gods, but you would die like men, you will fall like princes for your iniquity. So people say, well, that's an old passage and that's talking about fallen angels. No, that was talking about judges. That was talking about people that was over the synagogue. That was talking about Israelites that had high positions. Well, according to the biblical document, Israelites or so-called black people. So that was talking about us.
Right.
So when he said ye are gods, he was talking about black people in high position. If you look at that word in the Hebrew text, it says Elohim, which is my last name,
right,
which means power. God means power. Then in the New Testament, book of John, chapter 10, verse 34, written in red letters, they say Jesus Christ said it himself. Isn't it written, I said ye were gods, but you want to kill me because I profess to be the son of gods.
Right.
Oh, ye vipers and serpents. So that's 2 times in the biblical text that he called man God. Who was he talking to at the time? Jesus, who they call Jesus, who are called Yahshua, Hamashiach. He was actually talking to the Sadducees and the Pharisees, which was Israelites. Israelites or Hebrew Israelites were so-called black people. So for Christians to be, you know, at my throat about that, there's nothing wrong with me saying that you're a God. I never said that you were the almighty creator. I never said that you was El Elyon. I never said that you was El Shaddai. I never said you was the creator of the heavens or the earth. I simply said ye are gods. And the reason why you are God is because God created you. You were made in this image and in this likeness. That's like me telling my son that he's not Elohim. He's my son. He got all my genetic makeup, all my genetic code. He act just like me. He had my same characteristics, and he bear my last name. What do y'all think Yisrael means? One who struggled, or one who was connected to a power source. That's what Israel is. So, you know, me and the Hebrew Israelites got a very, very weird relationships, man.
Yeah.
Because
man.
I don't teach the same doctrine and the same dogma as them because I'm not religious.
Right.
They come from a very, very religious perspective and a religious background. Me, I study all religion. I study all ancient philosophies and all texts. And then I put it all together to get the big picture. And from that big picture and my experience here in this body, I will give y'all my perspective. So I
just wanted to share that with you real quick. And the reason I wanted to share that is because it's very important. It touched me when I heard him say that. Oh, it's a delay, I can see. It touched me when I heard him say those things because, you know, it's unfortunate that us as Israelites have got a bad rep. It's a lot of Ahchyam out there that makes a bad rep for us. And I don't teach what most of the Ahchyam teach. They still my brothers. But just like he said, I don't teach what they teach. Because most of those guys come from religion. They grew up in a Christian church. They come out of Christianity. You know, like I told yesterday on the Shabbat, I never grew up in that stuff. When the word was delivered to me from the Most High, it was delivered to me, just the word. You know, and a lot of what they teach, I'm not saying it's all wrong, but a lot of it is wrong. It's backwards. And they don't tell the people the truth. So, you know, that's just another act that has been touched by that same thing. And they clump and load us all into one, which we are all brothers, but we do not all teach the same thing because of a lot of our Ahchyam were brought out of this religion. And I don't teach religion. Like we said earlier, them burdens that they try to put on you. You know, about washing your hands and just little things. Here, Dorothy just said something right now, and it reads, they don't just fall or fail to understand, Salakia, fail to understand, they flat out reject their what? Heritage. They refuse to accept that we are a Qadash nation, not a religion. So perfectly put. And believe it or not, men are still out here teaching like religion, calling themselves Israelites, having on fringes, calling on the Most High YAHAWAH and His only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahushua, but they still teach like they're in that religion. And that's not what it is. We're a nation of people. And like I said, unfortunately, we have to take the good with the bad. And it's always the bad that seem to get these major and bigger platforms to shine on, because that's Satan. He wants it to look a certain way. That's when you say you a Hebrew Israelite, it's a bad stigma. And people automatically, go into defense mode. They don't even want to hear you out. So you wanted him? Because they already have a perception that's been given off to the world about how you are. And that's not how we are. At least all of us, we're not like that. I don't have time to be sitting and screaming at Edomites all day. We have a job to do. But for those certain people, certain individuals, it's clickbait. They want views. They want this. They want that, But when you really get to the source of it and break all that down, that's just pride. And you can't have pride. In the book of Ecclesiastic, it says pride was not made for man, nor anger. So when you see an Israelite brother getting angry, I don't care who it's at, especially not a fellow Israelite, but even if it's another nation, the Most High said anger was not. Let me show that real quick, because I'm speaking on it. Let me see if I can find it. Let me show it, because I don't want to just say it. Let me go here. I believe it's in chapter 10. Let me go here. So this is the 1611 King James Bible in the book of Ecclesiastic. Let me see what verse it's at. I think it's 18 or something like that. Here it is. Right here on the screen. Right? It says, pride was not made for man. So when you see our Ahchyam out there dealing in hate and pride, calling people down, putting people down, things of that nature, they're not walking in the righteousness that the Most High asked us, or his only begotten son, Hamashiach Yahushua, asked us to walk in. No matter who it is, because you're not the judge. But he said pride was not made for man, nor fury's anger for them that are born from a woman. They that fear Yahweh are a sure seed, and they that love him an honorable plant. They that regard not the law are a dishonorable seed. They that are transgressors, Salakia, they that transgress the commandments are a deceivable seed. So we already know what we're dealing with certain kind of people. So you don't bring pride and anger to a deceivable seed. You already know what you're going to get. And then you want to sit out there and argue with them for 30 minutes on an hour, recording so you can post it so people can see this and shake their head. And then on top of that, you get to start using foul language, cuss words, calling people out their name, sometimes even get almost at a fight. And you're supposed to be a servant of the Most High. Did Hamashiach Yahushua fight back when Pilate came? Did Hamashiach Yahushua fight back in the Garden of Yosemite when Peter pulled the sword and cut? What did he say? Put that away. Don't you think I can call legions of Molochs? It's not time for that. It's not time for vengeance. It's not time for that. But when you're not walking in the Rakah, and you just walking in pride, and you just going out there and you just this, that, and you got another agenda, hey, things happen. So like the Ox said, I don't teach that. Now, have I ever been there and done that? Of course, I've been there. How can you know what a fool is if you ain't never been a fool or foolish? But like I say, we are always growing in the truth. And if a man or a woman stays there, then that's just where she stays or where he stays at. But I'm seeking the Most High, and I want to continue to grow. I want things to continue to be revealed to me. I don't want to walk in pride. I don't want to walk in anger, because he said that wasn't made for us. What are you prideful about? Because you're Israel? Like he said, I didn't choose you because you was more in number. And the only reason we are where we are is because of his name. Like he said, he's not going to allow his name to be polluted with the oath that he gave. He's trying to show us what kind of standard he is on. He told us, I'm only doing this because of my name's sake. Because really, we are nothing. We don't polluted his name. Look at what we do as a people now. That's why we are what? A byword. People laugh at us. They mock us. They point at us. We're considered as nothing. Trash. Man, if you don't love yourself, how can you love the Most High? He's teaching us how to love ourselves and then love him in the same manner, in the same way. And if you got respect for the Most High and he told you don't be prideful and anger, you can't move in that type of way, no matter who it is. Another nation, especially not a fellow Israelite. And that's just period, point blank. But our Ahchyam teach that, you know. They go hard on all these other nations, you know. But we got too much time to be doing something else. But anyway, let's get back into the lesson. Let's get back into the lesson. It's not going to be a long one. I'm going to just get a couple more. And we're going to, you know, get ready to wrap it up in a little bit. But we're going to pull out some more real quick. Let's go back to the lesson, which takes me to this. Let's go to Jeremiah real quick. So hopefully that was educational for you with the that I just played, Yaki, and he was breaking it down how people just get mad and they don't really understand what it is that we saying. And I get that all the time in the comments. Or people hit me up and they be like, why are you saying Elohim? Or why are you saying AHCHwathyam? Or what does that mean? And it's, you know what I'm saying? And they just take it in the wrong way, but it's because you don't know. Because you haven't studied to show yourself approved. So you're going to knock me down or knock the Ahchyam down because you don't know? That ain't right. I'm going to just read a little bit of this in the Jeremiah for time's sake. I'm not going to read it all. Right here, I'm going to start at verse 20. Right, I'm going to get a little bit of this. And this goes in what we was just talking about, how other Ahchyam, fellow brothers, Israelites, are, you know, they teach something different, man. I'm going to teach with the word from the Most High, only out of the word. I can't be biased. I can't have my emotions in it. I can't have none of that. That's why the sword swing both ways. It swing every way. The anger of Yahweh shall not return until he has executed and till he have performed the thoughts of his heart. In the latter days, ye shall consider it perfectly. It is the latter days, right? We're here. You should consider this. Ask yourself this for your own self. Listen, he says, I have not sent these prophets, yet they ran. I haven't sent all these men that's out here teaching. I haven't sent them, but yet they ran to do what? Teach. But this is why he said you would know my people, the ones that I sent, by what? Their fruit. And you can't just love a man and be loyal to that man or that camp or that church or that group or whatever because of the people. You got to be more loyal to the Most High and his only begotten Son. I have not sent these prophets, yet they ran. I have not spoken to them, yet they prophesied. But if they had not, Salakia, but if they had stood in my counsel, right, in his counsel, and had caused my people to what? Hear my words. Meaning they teaching the people something else. Their counsel that they're giving the people is something else. It's not his words. They giving the people something else. Just kind of like how people say, well, the Bible come from the slave master and this and that. No. He took and turned it and made it into what he wanted to deliver to the people. He wasn't giving the people the Most High words because everything he did went against the Most High. It says right here, then they should have turned them from their evil way and from the evil of their doings. Meaning, if you're teaching people the right way, the Most High's counsel and the Most High words, that it will do what? It will encourage. It will tell the people to do what? Turn from their evil way and from the evil things that they're doing. How do you know what's evil? You have to go to the law. Like Paul said in Romans, I would have never known it was wrong to what? Covenant, if the Bible had never said, or the law had never said, thou shalt not covet, thou shalt not lust. So you need to take people back to where? The very word. 23. Am I a power at hand, saith Yahawah, and not a power afar off? Letting you know I'm very nigh to you. I'm close to you. I'm right here. You ain't got to go look for me. You ain't got to drive 300 miles. You ain't got to take a plane and a flight or take a boat and a cruise. You ain't got to do all that. All you got to do is turn around right where you at, in your home, in your closet, in the shop, wherever you at, in your car, turn, face the east, bow your head, close your eyes, and start talking in a genuine way to the Most High. That's who he looking to seek after him. And after you finish talking to him, he ain't going to send out no collection plate. Because he is light. He don't need the collection plate to keep the lights on. Okay? 24. Can any hide himself in secret places? All these people buying bunkers and living underground and going into the mountains like the hills have eyes and all this stuff people doing. The Most High just laugh at these people. Can any hide himself in secret places, bunkers, underground, mountains, wherever you going, that I shall not see him? He telling you. There's nowhere you can go that I don't know where you at. I see everything. People think they're going into secret places and I don't see him. Saith Yahawah, do not I feel the Shemayim and the earth, saith Yahawah? I have heard what the prophets said. They prophesied lies. Creflo O'Dollar, lies. Joel Osteen, lies. Tom Hagee, lies. John Gray, lies. Your pastor on the corner with that church, lies. Your daddy, if he a pastor of a church and he ain't telling the truth, lies. That's what they doing. And he says where? In my name. They doing it in the name of Yahawah. I've seen men say that it's okay for you to go to the nightclub. I'm talking about leaders of a camp. And they say it's okay for you to go to the nightclub. To an after hour spot. 2, 3 in the morning. It's okay. Go ahead. It's okay for you to sleep with a prostitute. It's okay for you to be drunk. And they so boldly, they do these things and record them and put it out. And they get a lot of views. They don't get a lot of thumbs down. They get a lot of what? Likes. Because that's what the world wants to see. And they're doing it all in the name of the Most High Yahawah and his only begotten son, Hamashiach Yahushai. Are people turning away? No, more people come to follow this. Saying, I have dreamed, I have dreamed. How long shall this be in the heart of the prophets? They prophesy lies. A prophet is a man that's sent to bring the word of the Most High. That's what a prophet is. But he said that they bringing forth and they prophesying what? Lies. Yeah. They are prophets of what? Deceit of their own heart. Of their own heart. And you could just know them by their fruit, how they live, what they do. Just watch and look. Just watch. That's all you got to do is watch. That's all you got to do. And just because you're not in a church and you think you in a camp or you with the Israelites, man, don't be fooled. Like Hamashiach Yahushai said, man, haven't I chosen y'all 12 and one of you? Yeah, one of them. So be careful who it is that you listen to. Be careful who it is that you following. Be careful who it is that you sitting under. Make sure that they bring in the word of the Most High. And how you going to know that? If you read and study for yourself. Verse 27, which think to cause my people to forget my name by their what? Dreams, which they tell every man to his neighbor, as their fathers have forgotten my name for who? Baal, Satan, Ahchwathyam. The prophet that have a dream, let him tell a dream. And he that have my word, let him speak my word faithfully. And that's what I'm going to do. All praises be to the Most High Yahawah. That's what I'm going to do. Like I always give my testimony. I've been offered many a jobs. I've been offered many a times, many a places to go into, preach, teach, do all these things. Churches, camps, all these things. Positions, titles, everything. And they always told me it never, ever, ever failed. No matter who it was. They always told me, hey, or hey, brother, when it was churches. When you get up there, don't touch on this and don't touch on that. Don't preach this. Don't. And I'm like, what? I'm going to preach the word. Whatever come to me, that's what come to me. I don't write a lesson out and then I go and preach it. I just go up there. And whatever the spirit come on me, that's what I bring out. I've been around other Ahchyam and they say, hey, what's the lesson going to be today? I don't know. Hey, what we going to talk about today? I don't know. When we get into it, that's what we going to get into. And whatever the spirit bring out, that's what he going to bring out. How can you do that? Because you study, you read the word, so you know what's in the word. So when the spirit say in your mind, say, go here, go there, go there, go there, go there. That's the spirit leading you. That's the Rakah leading you. But when you got to stay up for 5 or 6 hours and write out a whole lesson and this and that ain't the spirit. That's you. That's you. That's what you want to say. You got to let the spirit lead you. Let the Rakah lead you. Let him speak my word faithfully. What is what? Shaft to the wheat, saith Yahawah. Is not my word like a what? Fire? Yeah, it's going to burn you up. That truth? Oh, yeah. It's going to burn you up. And then the Most High Yahawah said, and like what? A hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces. Yeah, the Most High word don't play. It come to shatter. And what he mean by fire is purify it. That's what he mean. The furnace of the fire. Yeah, when his word comes, that's the truth. And if you ain't in the truth, walking in the truth or know the truth, oh, it's going to burn. You're going to get cut up. And that thing that you think you standing on, that rock that you say you standing on in Christianity or wherever you at in any kind of congregation, when that truth come, I'm bringing a hammer. Because I know the word of the Most High. And when you know the word of the Most High, say it's a sword, a double-edged sword, and I'm coming with it. That tongue, and I'm going to swing that hammer, I'm going to swing that sword, and I'm going to break it all down into pieces. You're not going to play with me, because when you play with me, you playing with the Most High. And there it is there. But you got to study to show thyself approved, to know the word of the Most High, to go swing that hammer, to go swing that sword. To bring the fire. How can you bring it and you don't know the word? Therefore, behold, I am against the prophets, saith Yahawah, that steal my words, every one from his neighbor. Behold, I am against the prophets, saith Yahawah, that use their tongues and say, he saith. Come on. How many churches don't been built? Look at all these men that being in prison that's going to jail for doing all these men that they did these things and going to prison, going to jail, getting this, getting that, getting slaughtered because they said what? The Most High said do it. Look at all of the people that murdered themselves because they drank Kool-Aid or they followed Waco or they followed this man or that man and did this and this. And in all that, they said that the Most High said do it. But the people did it because they were following man and not the Most High. Behold, I am against them that prophesy false dreams, saith Yahweh, and do tell them, and cause my people, what is the Most High mad about? And cause my people to err by their lies and by their lightness. Yet I sent them not, nor commanded them. Therefore they shall not profit this people at all, saith Yahweh. And when this people or prophet or priest shall ask thee, saying, what is the burden of Yahweh, which we was talking about earlier? Don't put these burdens. When somebody say that, when you hear Ak or you hear Ahchwathyam or a brother or sister say these burdens of Yahweh, thou shalt what? Then say unto them. You turn around and you ask them, what burden? What are you talking about? What burden? When you deal with the Most High, it's not a burden. What are you talking about? See, when somebody speaks like that it's a burden to serve the Most High, you got to check them right then and there. Are they not a real believer in the Most High? One or the other. It says, I will even forsake you, saith Yahweh. And as for the prophet and the priest and the people that shall say the burden of Yahweh, I will even punish that man and his house. This is why you got to be careful. But those people, when you tell them, like the Aqua of Dorothy said earlier, they flat out reject it. They flat out this, they flat out that. They not even knowing what they do to themselves because they haven't read the word. Talking about the law, that's a burden. I've heard people and I've seen people to my face tell me, you trying to put that burden, you try to put that what they call it, the yoke around my neck. The Most High said, okay, I will even punish that man and his house. Thus shall ye say everyone to his neighbor, even Salakia, and everyone to his brother. What have Yahweh answered? What have Yahweh spoken? And the burden of Yahweh shall ye mention no more. For every man's word shall be his burden. For ye have perverted the words of the living power of Yahweh of hosts. Our power. Thus shalt thou say to the prophet, what have Yahweh answered thee? And what have Yahweh spoken? But since you say the burden of Yahweh, therefore thus saith Yahweh, because ye say the word, or say this word, the burden of Yahweh, and I have, look at what he said, I have sent unto you, saying, ye shall not say the burden of Yahweh. I'm telling you now, therefore behold, very clear, he's saying, therefore behold, I, even I, will utterly forget you, and I will forsake you, and the city that I gave you and your fathers, and cast you out of my presence. And I will bring an everlasting, this is why we still going through it in 2026, an everlasting reproach upon you, and a perpetual, like I said, how do people look at us? Like trash, like nothing. Bywords, they mock us, they laugh at us, they joke on us, joke about us, I should say. Why? Because we have a perpetual shame that was put on us from the Most High, and still continue to this day, because these people keep lying on the Most High, saying they bringing the word of the Most High, and they lying. They not bringing the word of the Most High. That's why he said he's going to put an everlasting reproach on us and a perpetual shame. It's nothing you can ever do to get out of this but serve him. That's it. And he says, which shall not be forgotten. Which shall not be forgotten. Let me go here to the New Testament, because I said I wasn't going to do too much. It's not going to be a long one. Let me jump to the New Testament real quick. 1 Corinthians chapter 11. I'm going to get it in the NLT, New Living Translation. I don't want nobody to run off, right? Let me see if any comments. Let me see. Oh. The Aqua of Dorothy, she said, Khan, let me make sure I hold on. Let me see. I think I still got some more. She said, and art we commanded not to dispute over doctrine? Khan. And that's what you see I'm doing constantly. And like I say, I'm not pointing the finger because I have been guilty of these things in the beginning and through my journey and through my process. But all praises to the Most High that I'm want to seek him more. And through that journey and through that process, he kept revealing to me like, hey, read. When you read, it's telling you don't do these things. Like she just said, it's telling you don't be disputing. Don't have foolish conversation. Foolish. Which are going to result in what? More foolish conversation, more bickering, more back and forth, or even a fight. Because now you don't got emotional and you in pride and you in anger and you want to be right. So Khan, the scoffing is ridiculous. Had it not been for the internet, I wouldn't have known how widespread the scoffing is. Khan. See, this is what you call truth. She's being honest. She's relaying, and I'm being honest. Like I say, hey, I've been guilty of it in the past. Look at my videos. Go all the way back. Years and years and years ago. They took a lot of them down from like 6 years ago, and I had to start all over again. YouTube do that. But I'm not in that same spot that I was 6 years ago, 5 years ago. I have grown, evolved. But yet you see Ahchyam do and teach the same thing year after year after year after year after year after year. Okay, we get it. We know destruction. We get that. What else is there? Because it's something to bring out about the word different every day. Every day. Then she says, Khan, the false doctrine comes from the what? Plantation. Khan. And a lot of our people are still following Anne from Rome. They had a big influence, and still do to this day. Still do to this day. Khan. YAHAWAH. He fills the Shemayim and the earth. All praises be. YAHAWAH. Khan. All praises. Whenever we go, we can rest assured that he will be there. Khan. See? All this is beautiful right here. All this is beautiful. I remember Ahchyam had a Passover at a freaking strip club, and another was celebrating Thanksgiving with pork. God, I remember those exact things. I know exactly who you talking about. I love those brothers. They still my Ahchyam. They still my brother. But were they in the wrong? Of course. You don't have Passover at a strip club. That was so disrespectful to the Most High. This is what I mean. You have to think, has these men really been sent? And we talking about somebody, a camp that had a huge following, even to this very day. We talking about hundreds and hundreds of thousands of members. Not like, we ain't talking about 30 members. And all those people were where? In the strip club. In the strip club. And then the other ones that were eating pork, talking about they roasted they ham or let it marinate with Pepsi or Coke or one of them. And then leaned over, grabbed hands, and they did this on the video so they can post it. Like I said, they do this on purpose. They did it on video, recorded it so they can post it. Lean over and prayed over the ham, over the pork, over the green beans that was mixed with ham. And prayed to the Most High. And say we give honor and glory to the Most High. And then cut the ham and put it on the plate and record it while they was eating. Like I say, Hamashiach Yahushua say, you will know my people by their fruit. I don't care because a man claim he know the Most High because he call Allah YAHAWAH. I don't care about that. I know a man by his fruit. Those people right there, the Most High didn't send them. Now, if you want to follow him, hey, all means, do you. But me, as it's written, for me and my house, we going to serve the Most High. If that's what you want to be a part of, because you can go to the strip club now and have Passover in the strip. Hey, do you? Do you? So you 100% correct, sister. So you're right. We have to please the Most High. Khan. That's right. Obey Yah. Khan. Obey the Most High Yahweh. Khan. Mayana Pasha, she says, Khan. The water for being here, Mayan. Khan. Khan. The false prophet, Juanita. Khan. I don't even watch women preaching, so I don't even know who that is. But, you know, false prophet women, bishops, pastors, normalize sin, deception. Khan. They have, you know, and it's sad. And our people are following this. I mean, holding on to it, you know, grasping onto it. The Most High didn't put witches in the pulpit. He didn't strip man from his authority. All praises be to the Most High. This is truth. She's laying it out. She's telling you. And this is the sister, Ahchwathyam. And this is why the other Ahchwathyams need to hear things like this. And the reason I say they need to hear, because when you go into these congregations or you go into these churches, the majority of people that are in there, whether camp, church, organization, is women. And they're being misled. And they're following these people. And they're destroying our women. Destroying them. Khan. To this day, they're still talking about Bishop Eddie Long. Shame. Perpetual shame that he hasn't been forgotten. Khan. And I think, I believe that was something about with boys or something. I believe so. I can't really say with a certainty, but I believe it was something like that. But he was a powerful, powerful man in the church. Powerful church. You know, powerful man in the church. And look at all them people he had following him. They were following him and not the word. I keep stressing that. That's why I tell people all the time, don't follow me, follow the word. Listen, if you don't want truth, Yashra Yakad, this platform, this channel that the Most High has presented me with and allowed me to have, if you don't want truth, then this platform, this channel is not for you. Unsubscribe. It's not gonna hurt me. It's not gonna break my heart. I'm not gonna cry in the corner because you left and unsubscribe, or you write things about me or say things about me. Because the Bible tells me in the word, when you do things like that and you unsubscribe, you go and talk about me and bad mouth me, and that lets me know I'm doing something right with the word. Because the Mashiach Yahawashi said, remember, when they hate you, they hated me first. Remember, when they talk about you, they talked about me first. Remember, when they spit on you, they spit on me first. Remember, when they martyr or hang you, they hung me first. So it don't hurt me. That lets me know that I'm doing something right with the very word that was given to me. That's what it lets me know. The Most High means what he says. Halal Yah, Khan. Mayan, she said big Khan. She also said shameful. The Ahchwathyam said the shame will follow them perpetual, forever. And then it also says, Khan, Eddie Long was a great disappointment to many, and his legacy is one of shame. Anytime you follow man, it's always going to be a disappointment. Anytime you follow man, it's going to be a disappointment. Once again, that's why I say don't follow me, follow the word. And if you ever see me in an error, veering, going off in any type of way, in love, you are supposed to reprove. Hey, I got a question. I heard you say this. I can remember 2 years ago. I just want to give you a chance to let it be known, like, why are you what happened? What's changing? What's going on? Because the word says this, but now you're saying this. And then you have to make that decision. Do you love me more than you love the word? Are you going to stick with me? Or are you going to stick with the word? And I'm going to tell you here today, you go back to this video and rewind it for yourself. Let me make sure I blow this up on the screen. Hold on. I want to tell you to your face. If you follow me, if you follow any man and you don't follow the word, you deserve everything you get because you a fool. I don't care what no man tell you. And I'm looking dead into the camera. If you follow that man instead of following the words of the Most High that's going to give you eternal life, or you follow a man, the creation, not the creator, but the creation, you are a fool. And I'm telling you to your face, you better follow the word. Follow the word. Always follow the word. Don't follow man, because I'm going to leave. I'm telling you now. Let you say something, let you get to going off and veering off and talking crazy and you going against the word. I'm leaving. I'm checking out. And I'm going to let you know, I ain't just going to creep off and walk and don't say nothing. I'm going to let you know, you going off. Or Ahchwathyam, you going off. Because I want to hear you out as a brother or sister. Now, when I leave, that don't mean the door is closed. Because he said, how many times should you forgive your brother? Let me, you know. That's in Luke 17, you know. Maya in the podcast, he said, big car. And then this valley face, car. Let me read this real quick in 1 Corinthians. But yeah, you know, all that with Eddie Long and everybody else, especially the ones that was in the strip club and, you know, all these things that we see, like I said, when I played that short video, that brings a shameful thing on the whole nation, on the whole people. And that's why we had that bad name that's associated with us, you know. And it's sad because we all don't preach the same thing. We all don't do. There's no way I would have had a Passover at a strip club. No way. No way. I don't care if somebody paid me $300,000 to do it. I'm not doing it. Are you crazy? I would be so afraid the Most High was going to kill me that night. That night, I would be so afraid. But that just showed you how far off that they have veered from the truth, that they felt that it was acceptable and okay to do something like that. And not only do it, not even in secret, but video and post it. And was still teaching the word of the Most High. Let me read this. 1 Corinthians chapter 11. We're going to go all the way down, right? I'm going to just read a little bit of it. 25 is where I want to go to, right? And this is what I want to say to people when you say you believe in the Most High and Hamashiach Yahushua, right? In the same way, he took the cup of wine at supper, saying, this cup is the new covenant between the Most High and his people. An agreement confirmed with the blood, with my blood, Hamashiach Yahushua's. Do this in remembrance of me as often as you drink it. For every time you eat this bread and drink this cup, you are announcing. Understand what it is that you're doing, believers. That's why I'm reading it in the NLT. You can't get away. You can't scour off somewhere in the corner. No. You are announcing that the master's death, right? Until he comes again. This is what you're doing. Every time you take of that bread, you take of that cup, you drink it. When he said, take this bread, this is a piece of my body. So anyone who eats this bread and drinks this cup of the master unworthily is guilty of sinning against him. So you think about it's 3 billion Christians in the world. 3 billion Christians in the world that say they believe in him. And they do, what is that called? Dang. I think that's called Mavs. Is it called Mavs? What's that they call when they do it in the church with the little grape juice and the little cracker? Right? They do that. Breaking the bread, drinking of the cup. Who? Communion, right? All those billions of Christians that are taking communion. But they doing it unworthily, meaning they're not keeping the Most High words. They're sinning. They're living in sin right then and there. They ain't even got to go do nothing else. They already are living in sin. Listen to what it say. The body and blood of who? Are AHCHwathyam or Adonai, however you say it. That is why you should what? Examine yourself before eating the bread and drinking the cup. You better be careful. You know, I tell this to people. I tell my family. I told my kids. I even told them as they were growing up and they were of age. I said, hey, I remember, testimony. I remember one of my kids was going to come. They said, hey, I'm going to start teaching. I want to go on YouTube and this and that, and I said, hey, be careful. I said, once you make a proclamation that you're going to do this for the Most High hear you. He hear you. That's why Paul is telling you right here, hey, examine yourself. Be careful before you eat of that bread and drink of that cup. Because once you do that, you are entering into that covenant. That's why I read, before we got started, in the deep lesson, I read Deuteronomy chapter 29. Go back to it. I started at verse 9, and I read all the way down to the end. As he said, I'm making this covenant with you that stand here and those that are not even here. Paul is telling us basically the same thing. That is why you should examine yourself. Look at yourself first before eating of what? That bread and drinking of that cup. Verse 29, for if you eat the bread and drink the cup without honoring the body of Hamashiach, you are eating and drinking Elohim's judgment upon yourself. So when he come to judge you, it's a righteous judgment because you said you believe. You broke the bread, you drank the cup, and all the time you never followed his word. That's why all those parables that I read off constantly. We did on the Shabbat yesterday, the one that entered into the wedding, the virgins that were outside. When he come and tell you, you're gonna say, he said, what? Master, master. Many shall say to me on that day, have I not this? Have I not prophesied in your name? Have I not cast out demons in your name? Have I not did this in your name? He gonna say what? Depart from me. I don't know you. You work iniquity. You live in lawlessness. Are you crazy? You never knew me, and I never knew you because you work and walk in lawlessness. That's in Matthew chapter 7. And since people don't read and they don't study, they don't even know what they're doing, taking communion and going to these churches and taking the bread or the wafer and kids running around in the back. You got kids taking wafers, drinking the wine, and everybody just doing it. They don't even know what they're signing up for. Nobody has examined themselves. Man, the church after that going to sell you a pork plate. Because they know it's a day of communion, so more people are going to come. So they're going to sell you stuff that day. They got pork ribs, pork chops, pork this, pork that. And yet you just took communion. You just did this, broke bread and drank what? The cup of the wine in honor or remembrance of the most Hamashiach Yahushai. And now you don't brought what? Judgment on yourself, which is going to be a righteous judgment because you did it. That's why Paul said in 28, you better examine yourself before. Listen, examine yourself before you do it. And even if you don't did it, you better go back and repent and ask for forgiveness and say, please, Most High, let me examine myself right now before. I didn't know that because he'd say in Acts chapter 17, verse 30, I wink at your ignorance. So if you didn't know and you watching this and you found out now you know. So you better go and pray about it and ask. Telling you. As he says right here in verse 30, right? That's why many of you are weak, feeble. You're weak and sick and some have died. But if we would examine ourselves, we would not be judged by APBTTMH in this way. Yet, when we are judged by the master, we are being disciplined so that we will not be condemned along with the world. He's separating us from all those other people that are in the world. So, my dear brothers and sisters, when you gather for who? Yahawah's supper, wait for each other. Wait for each other. He's telling you to wait. Don't be in a rush. Wait. Be patient. And this is twofold. Yeah, this could be Passover when you having it. It could be Passover when you having it, that you gotta wait for somebody, but it's also telling you to wait and be patient on who? Hamashiach Yahawashi. Wait. This is what he's talking about. Wait, be patient. He coming, but just be patient. Remember, it's the Passover. That's why. Then he says right here, if you are really hungry, eat at home, so you won't bring judgment upon yourself when you meet together. I'll give you instructions about the other matters after I arrive. But he wanted them to have this before he even got there. He telling you, hey, when I get there, when I arrive, I'm going to give you even more stuff. So even Paul didn't give them everything all at once, because you can't just give people everything all at once. You have to give it in pieces at time, because everybody can take everything at one time. But just be careful with this. I would say be careful, But let's get to it as we close out. Let's go to 2 Timothy, where it all starts at. 2 Timothy 2, right? And we just going to go straight to it. There it is right there. 2 Timothy 2:15. Study to show thyself approved to the Most High, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of what? Truth. And that's all I've said. This whole thing we went through, especially the things that the sister brought out, the Ahchwathyam, following people, how people got misled by Eddie Long, and he wasn't doing this. He wasn't rightly dividing the word for what? Truth. Why? Because he wasn't trying to live in truth himself. He's sleeping with little boys. That's direct. That's a sin. And some might say, well, he had that burning inside of him that he wanted to be with boys or be with men. I don't care what burn inside of you. You can't commit that. Let it burn. But to go and commit the act of it is something different. That means you gave in to temptation. You gave in to Satan. You can't hold two offices. You can't give in to Satan and then be giving into the most, say you preaching the Most High word. That's not true. And then it goes on to say, let me get this right here. This is what she brought out earlier in that comment about how we're not supposed to be going back and forth, debating and having miscellaneous conversations, right? Foolish conversations, as she said. Here it is right here, Ahchwathyam. 2 Timothy 2:16. Avoid worthless, foolish talk that only leads to more what? Godless behavior. There it is right there. There it is right there. She says, Khan. I don't know if she's still in here, but if she is, Khan. Shake my head. The fire, what Mayan say, the fire, the Most High have burned stronger than that. Khan. I believe I said that right. But here it is here, 2 Timothy, from what she said earlier, what we should be doing. And here it is right here. 2 Timothy 2:16. Con, she said, I'm here. The water for still being here. It ain't gonna be too much long. I'm finna wrap it up. I'm about getting ready to wrap it up. I didn't mean for it to even be this long, but all praise to the Most High. It happened like that. It needed to be brought out. And I still in my mind still going, but I'm like, no, this is enough. This is enough. Because we could keep going. But anyway, you are 100% correct on that, Aqua. So when you see Ahchyam doing this, you have to ask yourself, are they working and walking with the Most High and his only son, Hamashiach Yahushua, in the Rakah? Look at the fruit they bear. He's telling us right here, and this is in the New Testament, avoid worthless, foolish talk that only leads to more godless behavior. This kind of talk spreads like what? Cancer. Why does it spread like cancer? Because everybody want to come see some foolishness. Everybody want to come see some foolishness. Man, you have all kind of views, you post that stuff. But a breakdown, a lesson like this, forget about it. But if I had went out on the highway yesterday and I had an Edomite and I was cutting him up and this and that, and they was bowing down to my feet and we was arguing back and forth and he kind of threw a punch at me, a spit at me as he walked away. Oh, man, imagine how many people would be in the chat. That's right, Ak, that's right. Come on. That kind of talk spreads like cancer, as in this case, or Salakia, as in the case of, look, he even telling you the people that were doing it. These are two people that were doing it right here. He telling you. So even as it was then, this is why the Bible says there's nothing new under the sun. It's the same thing that's going on that was going on then. Those same rakahs, those same spirits, they ain't left. They still doing the same thing now. Verse 18, they have left the path of what? Truth. He telling you people that do that have those type of conversations, record those things and post them. Those people, they have left the path of what? Truth. Claiming that the resurrection of the dead has already occurred. In this way, they have turned some people away from the faith. They start coming up with their own stuff. And some people go ahead and follow it. But Allahayam's truth stand firm like a foundation of stone. With this inscription, Yahweh knows those who are his, and all who belong to Yahweh must turn away from what? Evil, which is unrighteousness and wickedness. You must do it. Not have to, maybe. I think about it. You must. In a wealthy home, some utensils are made of gold and silver, and some are made of wood and clay. The expensive utensils are used for special occasions, and the cheap ones are for everyday use. If you keep yourself, listen to this, if you keep yourself pure, you will be a special utensil for honorable use. Your life will be clean, and you will be ready for the master to use you for every good work. Pure, clean, run. These are not my words, but I'm telling you, out of my mouth, through the Rakah, through the Quadash Rakah. If you in a camp, you in a church, you in an organization, anything. If those people are teaching like that, or you see things like that, it is saying right here in the New Testament, run from anything that stimulates youthful lust instead of pursuing what? Righteous living, faithful, love, peace. Enjoy the companionship of those who call on Yahweh with pure hearts. That's why I say I appreciate everybody that's here. All those that ever join, send emails, comments. I appreciate that. You know why? Because this is what the Bible says. Enjoy the companionship. I don't have that companionship, a lot of people around. because we already know it's not going to be a lot of people around when you in the truth until you make it to the kingdom. And then everybody will be around because all those people are righteous. Enjoy the companionship of those who call on Yahawah with a pure heart. Again, I say, don't get involved. He's telling us one more time. One more time. Don't get involved. This is why I don't get involved. That's why I don't deal with that stuff no more. Don't get involved in foolish, ignorant arguments that only start what? Fights. I'm not going out there on the highways and byways to preach to the Edomite and tell the Edomite this, that, or the Moabite or the Hamite or whoever. This, that, and the third, holler and scream and bark and this and that so we can go back and forth and argue and this and that and record everything. That's no. They're going against the very word that's written for us. A servant of the Most High must not quarrel, but must be what? Kind to everyone, it says. So when you see Ahchyam doing that, they're going against the very word that they say they believe in, that they preaching, that they walking in. Be able to teach. That's what I'm talking about, the Ahchyam that go out and teach. And be patient with who? Difficult people. Difficult people. Gently instruct those who oppose the truth. Gently. Don't mock them. Don't curse at them. Don't jump at them. But you do it in a gently, in a meek way. Why? Because you're an ambassador of who? Hamashiach Yahushua and the Father. You represent them. You don't start cursing. I don't give an MF about what you MF this, and I do an MF, and you F you, and you just drop an F bomb after F bomb after F bomb, and but you got the Bible in your hand. And you say you a man of the Most High. Really? Okay. You could say that, but your actions show something different. And the word says right here in the epistle, gently instruct those who oppose the truth. Perhaps the Most High will change those people's hearts. And what may happen? And they will learn the truth. Then they will come to their senses and escape from the devil's trap. For they have been what? Held captive by him to do whatever he wants. That's 2 Timothy 2:26 in the NLT. You know, in the NLT. So I'm just letting it be known. These are not my words. Everything that I brought out today is always from the word. You can go to every verse. That's why I said get your pen, your paper, write it down. Don't believe me. Go back, read it for yourself. Read the whole scripture. If you can, read the whole book. Read the whole book. And let me go here because I want to go here because I said this. She says, I'm here, Khan, Dorothy, Khan, 100. Mayana Pasha says, Khan. She says, amen, Khan. Khan, everyone can't be patient with difficult people. That's a gift. Khan. That's why some people ain't supposed to be out on the highways and byways teaching because they don't have that patience. Like she said, it's a gift. It's a gift that is given from the Most High. Mercy, that's deep. God. She said, I like the NLT God. And that's why I use it sometimes. I always say, let me go to the comparative text. And I use that sometimes because sometimes in the King James, just sometimes, some people can't understand it and they get lost. And then they just say, oh, no, it don't really say that. So sometimes that's why I go to the NLT. So they can't scour off and run low. It says it plainly. Plainly. It's right here in black and white. If that's what you want to continue to do, then do that. But you're not following the word. And now I got to separate myself from you because I showed you the word. You see the word, but you want to do it the way you want to do it, not the way the Most High told us to do it. So, and there's nothing wrong with using comparative text and going to comparative text. That's what they're there for. That's exactly what they're there for. So let me show this real quick about what I said. We about to close out. I'm telling you, we almost there. We right there. Let me go here. Let's go to Baruch. This is what I'm saying right here. Baruch chapter 4, real quick. Half of the time they shouldn't even be doing this and having conversations with these people that they having conversations with, and then want to post it on YouTube to get views. This is Baruch, Baruch chapter 4, verse 1. It says right here, this is the book of the commandments of the Most High and the law that endureth forever. Salakia. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. It says, turn thee, O Jacob, take hold of it, walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou may be what? Illuminated. Here it is. Give not thy honor to another. I don't have to have a conversation with any other nation for an hour or 2 or 3 or 4 hours and video record it to post it. You should not be doing it anyway. You should not be doing it anyway. Give not thy honor to another, nor the things that are profitable unto thee to a strange nation. Is not the word of the Most High profitable unto you? He says that's our wisdom and our understanding in the sight of the nations. So why are you spending time trying to break down the word to them and tell them that you are Israelite and this and that? For what? That should only be for your people. You're wasting your time. Here it is right here, verse 4. O Israel, Yashra Allah, happy are we, for the things that are pleasing to the Most High are made known to us. So why are you wasting time trying to break down what is pleasing to the Most High to somebody else when it's only made for you? It's only made for you. Did he not say that? You might say, well, hey, some people going to say that's the Apocrypha, right? I know they're going to say that. That's the Apocrypha. And I don't believe in the Apocrypha. But let me show it to you in the Bible. I mean, in the Old Testament, right? Here we go. Let me go to the King James first. Psalms 147 real quick. Right, here it is right here. And most people probably already know, but I just want to show it. So, Psalms 147. And if you say it changed, then you call it the Most High a liar. If you say he changed and now in the New Testament it is, you call it the Most High, the Father, a liar. That's what you're doing. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He have not dealt so with any nation. As for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye Yahawah. I just want to see when they compare the text, how they do it in the NLT, right? It says, he has not done this for any other nation. Nation means people, right? The H1481. If you go into the you want to look it up, right? You want to go into the word of it, see what the word really means. He has not done this for any other people. They do not know his what? Regulations. Praise Yahawah. So why are you sitting out there for an hour trying to break it down to a Hamite or a Moabite? Why? That's why I say you will know them by their fruit. So when you see Ahchyam or you see videos like that, you should already know, okay, I see where they at. They have not grown, right? They're still on as Paul said, I had to feed them with milk. They still on milk, basically. They're still on milk. And they may never grow to meat. They may never grow to meat. Right? I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna close out. Let me see. She says, the Aqua Authority says, Khan, we have to stop casting pearls before our swine. But when you read this and you tell Ahchyam that, they still gonna do it. They still gonna do it. It's still gonna be somebody out there to do that, record it and upload it and put it out. And they still gonna get 100,000 views on it because that's what our people like. That's what people like. They love that. But here, that's why I say, oh, if I wanted thousands of followers, I know what I gotta say. I know what I gotta do. If that's what it was all about, just having followers and peoples and views and this and that, you know what you got to do and you know what you got to say, but that's not the truth of the Most High. And I'm not going to sacrifice the truth of the Most High for people. I'm not going to do it. I refuse to do it. You know, the Timothy from Baltimore, Maryland, he says, Shalawam to all the way from Baltimore, Maryland, in the building. Calm. Shalawam. Shalawam. The water for being here. I encourage you to go back and watch the whole thing too. You know, the Aqua Dorothy been saying some powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. You know, as she just put right there, Khan. We have to stop casting our pearls before swine. You know, we have to do it, and our people continually do it. Let me show this real quick as we getting ready to close out. Let me just show this. For those that were here in the whole lesson that you heard, right? Everything that you heard. Now, this is why I go here. The book of Sirach, chapter 3, real quick. And remember, I'm going to play that video as we going out. And if you want to see it again, you want to hear it, share it, whatever, the link is going to be in the description box. So I'm going to play that video one more time before I get up out of here. I played it in the beginning when I first got started, but I'm going to play it going out. This is Ecclesiastic Us, chapter 3, in the 1611 King James Bible, right? Now, with everything we've been saying and everything we've been talking about at this whole lesson, I'm going to go to verse 20, right? Actually, 21. This whole lesson has been about study to show thyself approved. And if you watch it from beginning to end, you will truly understand what this message is really saying and what it's really about through the Rakah, through the Spirit, the Quadash Rakah, the Holy Spirit. A lot of people are worried about everything else. And like the Aqua, the sister just put on there, stop casting your pearls before swine for people, for views, for money, for revenue, for any reason. We should only be following the word of the Most High. We can't compromise the word of the Most High. That's why I never, as my testimony I gave earlier, that's why I never took those positions in the congregations, in the camps, in the churches, wherever they offer me. And they always say, well, 1 or 2 witnesses. I can call my wife in here right now to testify that people don't took me out to eat. They don't offer me this and that and it. But it was always a back door to it. Hey, when you get up to preach, don't preach on this. Hey, when you get up to do this, don't do that. It was always something. And I always told them, no, I'm going to bring what the word tell me to bring. One, I'm not writing a lesson down. So I don't know what I'm going to talk about when I go up on the pew. It's whatever the Rakah, whatever the Most High put on me, that's what I'm going to bring out. And I'm not going to let no man determine what I should not bring out of the word. So that's why it never worked for me in those people or those places, because I'm going to stand for the Most High in his word. And I encourage you to do the same thing. Ecclesiastic Us, better known as the book of Sirach, chapter 3, verse 21. It says, seek not out things that are too hard for thee. Everybody want breakdown. Solomon was YAHAWAH, was this, it was that. The UFO, the this, the that. Everybody want to break down. Seek not out things that are too hard for thee, neither search things that are above thy strength. If you don't have the understanding right now, pray to the Most High that he will give you the understanding. In due time, he will exalt you to receive that knowledge. But it may not be right for you right now at this time. This is why I tell you truth and knowledge is always growing. And you can never obtain it all because it's always growing, always. Verse 22. But what is commanded thee? This is what you should be focused on. Everybody focused on everything else but this. Focus on what is commanded of thee. Think thereupon with what? Reverence. For it is needful for thee to see with thy eyes the things that are what? In secret. It's not needful. What are you worried about it for? I didn't write this. This was written before I was born. It says 1611. This was in the 1611 King James Bible. I wasn't born. My mama wasn't born. Her mama wasn't born. Her mama wasn't born. You know what I mean? I didn't write this. This was already written as I went into it earlier. Romans 15:4, aforetime for what? Our learning in the scriptures. He's telling us what was commanded of us. Think thereupon that with reverence, with respect, fear. For it is not needful for thee to see with thy eyes the things that are in secret. But everybody want to know what's in secret. Everybody want to know that. Verse 23. Be not curious in unnecessary matters. Like the Aqua said, why are you guys out there arguing about stuff that's unnecessary? Why are you even casting your pearls before swine? Why? To get a video to post it so you can get some views and likes? That's not edifying. That actually makes us look bad. It says, for many things are showed unto thee than man understand. For many are deceived by their own vain opinion, and an evil suspicion has overthrown their judgment. Without eyes, they shall want light. Profess not the knowledge, therefore, that thou hast not. That's all I could say, man. You know, that's all I could say. Anyway, I'm gonna end it right there. It's already been a couple hours. Like I say, it was Sunday. Salakia, I shouldn't have said that. First day of the week, and it shouldn't have been this long. But all praise to the Most High, He allowed it to come out, and it was. He says, their excuse is, well, we are teaching to the listeners that are standing in front of them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. But why is it, if I know what you're saying, but my thing is why are you even turned their way? Why are you having dialect back and forth with them when they ask certain things or they say certain things? You shouldn't even entertain them. So as if you were talking to the brothers over here that really you have been focused on, those people will eventually walk away because you're not even acknowledging their presence. But like you said, their excuse, right? That's an excuse. Khan. He says the water, thank you. You know, the Aqua Dorchi, she says, I'm learning not to seek out those things too hard for me. Some information I simply can't handle. I prefer need to know information. Khan. And he already told us what we need to know, right? Seek out those things that are commanded. The things that you can see in black and white that's already written aforetime for our learning. Thou shalt not this. Thou shalt not murder. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not, you know what I'm saying? Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not lie with a man as you lie with a woman. All those things you can go and find is written. It ain't hard. You know what I'm saying? It don't take a deep breakdown. You shall not lie with your next of kin. You shall not lie with your father's wife. You can find all this in the first 5 books. These are not secrets. It's right there. You get what I mean? And that's why he tell us, don't go try to seek out all of this secret stuff that you don't even have the knowledge and you professing, you know, and then we find out later you was having Passover and stuff in the strip club. Like what's going on? You profess that you got all this knowledge, you know, you cheat this and that with all these titles, and then we find out you having Passover, Pesach in the strip club. What's going on? And then we see other Ahchyam that profess they have all this knowledge, they this or that, and they having Passover with a ham on the table, talking about it's okay to eat pork. And then talk about how he marinated in Pepsi and Coca-Cola, and it's a honey baked ham. And I wish I still knew that channel where I could pull it up and show the people who never seen it. But these people actually held hands and leaned over the food, the honey baked ham, the green beans with ham in it. And the reason we know that's because they went through each tray and told us what was in the tray. Oh yeah, we got the green beans with the smoked ham in it, and this the honey baked ham that I got a special glaze on it, and I soaked it in Pepsi all night. Like he said these things. And then they leaned over and prayed over the food and gave praises to the Most High YAHAWAH and ate it. Swine's flesh. As they was giving praise to the Most High. You know? So like I read in Jeremiah chapter 23, just because a man professed that he's a man of the Most High or a prophet of the Most High, like he said, you will know my people by their fruit. Like the Most High said in Jeremiah 23 that I read, I started at verse 20, I believe, all the way down, that what? I ain't sent them. They ran and they prophesied lies and deceit, but I didn't send them in. He said, you will know the ones that I sent, because the word that they bring and my counsel that they bring, and they will be telling you to what? Flee from evil, run from evil, run from wickedness, flee from wickedness, not continue in wickedness. But yet people love that. They still got big followings to this day. They so bold in their wickedness that they can post it on these platforms and people eat it up. What? We could do Passover in the strip club? I'm going next year. I'm going to be there next year. They probably had more people the next following year than they had that year, because now people want to go to the strip club to do Passover. They had bottle girls with bottle service, Hennessy in the building. That sounds like a good time to people. A good time. What? You mean I can join that congregation and I can still eat pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster? Man, I knew it was somewhere. See, I knew I could still eat pork. I knew it. They doing it. And they told me I could come over there and be part of their camp. All praises be to the Most High. That's how they be. You know, that's how they be. She says, I don't need to know everything, Khan. You know, that's all I could say to that. But you know, you're honest. You have a meek heart. You're a sister of understanding. But then you have other ox or other Ahchwathyam out there that they don't feel that way. They want to know it all. They want to get it all, you know. And that's why the Most High don't give it to them. Because they got deceit in their heart. You know, they got guile in their mouth. So they'll never get it. They'll never get it. And then they just start to profess lies like they do have it. And people follow it. Because our people love lies. Isaiah chapter 30, verse 8 on down. She says, 100. It was a good class. I appreciate the time spent. The water, all praises, all through the Rakah. All praises go to the Most High YAHAWAH for waking us up, giving us breath, giving us life. It's only because of him. I understand the vessel that you see right here is me as his body shaped form, his flesh. But just know it's the Rakah, it's the spirit of the Most High. If it wasn't for him, I would have no understanding and no knowledge at all of his word. So all praises goes to him. One, for the mercy and the compassion that he has for us and all the things we have done in our ignorance. So all praises be to the Most High, right? And the water, to his only begotten son, Hamashiach Yahushua, that laid down his life for us, that we can have this grace. And that he sent the comforter to us, the Quadash Rakah, the Holy Spirit, to reveal this to us and to give us power you know, like I read earlier. So all praises to water for that, Aqua. She says, that's right. That's right. Con. And Timothy, he says, I recall many camps that teach we are not black. We are Israelites. But advertising black Hebrew Israelites debate Christians. Shake my head. Con. I mean, you just said it right then and there. So that tells you what about them? Are they doing the word? Are they teaching the word? Are they standing for the word? Come on. How you gonna say one thing and then turn around? Like that's crazy, you know? But they're able to get away with it because nobody calls it out. Nobody says nothing. Well, not here. I'm gonna let it be known because we stand for truth. Like I say, if you want something different than the truth, then this is not the place for you. This is not the platform. Unsubscribe, clock out, check out, write your comments, tell people don't come over here, and that's fine. Like I say, Hamashiach already told us, hey, when they come after you, when they say things about you, remember they said things about me. When they spit on you, remember they spit on me. When they try to hang you or murder you, remember they did that to me. Everything is, and that lets me know I'm doing something right. I'm standing for the word. I'm standing for the truth. The Aqua of Dorothy said crazy. A whole bunch of slop. And they love that slop. They love that slop. Hallelujah. Our Father loves us and wouldn't send those kind of people to teach us anything. God. You know that. But we got 3 billion Christians in the world that say they believe in the Father and the Son that don't know that. You know? And we got, I don't know how many shepherds, pastors, preachers, deacons, bishops, elders, all these things that are sitting right there in the pew and allow it to go on. But like I read in Corinthians 11, and I think I started at 25 on down, they all drinking of that cup and taking that bread. And as my wife said, communion. But Paul said, be careful. Paul is warning them. Be careful. You drinking of this stuff and eating of this stuff, and you won't get a judgment behind that. Because once you take that communion, once you break that bread and you drink of that cup, you are basically proclaiming that you are a believer in Hamashiach Yahawaah and that you're going to stand for the very word. See, what people don't fail to realize, or should I say what people fail to realize, is he is called the word. The reason he is called the word is because he brought forth, or he brings forth, the word of the Father. That's why he's telling you in the book of John, hey, I'm not the one really judging you. Let me show this before I close out, and we'll close out with this. John chapter 12 real quick. He tells us this very thing in the book of John and many other places. I'm just going to go here real quick just to hurry up. John 12, let me see, 40. Let me see where I want to start. I'm going to just start at 43 because this is all that we was talking about, right? All that we was talking about. It says, for they love the praise of man more than the praise of the Most High. Just what the Timothy was talking about just now. They put up black Hebrew Israelites, but when somebody say black Hebrew Israelite, they say, we're not black Hebrew Israelite, but you putting it up on your channel. Or they use excuses. They were standing in front of us, like he said, those excuses. For they love the praise of man more than the praise of the Most High. Yahawaah cried and said, he that believeth on me, believeth not on me. This is Yahawaah speaking. But on him that what? Sent me. So when you believe on Hamashiach, you're not really believing on him. You believing in the Father. And he that sent me, Salakia, and he that seeth me, seeth him that sent me. Meaning when you saw Hamashiach, you really saw the Father. The whole essence, the whole everything. Remember, he didn't come as no big old giant 6'7" man with a build and this and gorgeous looking and, you know, all. No, he came very meek and humble. It says it was nothing about him that when you looked upon him, you was like, ooh, nothing. Very humble. He says in 46, I come a light into the world, that whosoever believeth on me should not abide in darkness. And if any man hear my words and believe not, this is what I was going to right here. I'm going to highlight the part. He says, let me put it up. I judge him not, for I came not to judge the world, but to serve the world. Listen to this. He that rejected me, meaning they reject Hamashiach Yahushai, and receiveth not my words, have one that judgeth him. Who is that? Who is he talking about now? Because Yahushai said he's not going to judge him. So who is this one that's going to judge him? Who is that talking about? The Father, the Ancient of Days, the giver of life, the taker of life, Yahawah. The Allah Shaddai Yah in the Hebrew, or in the modern Hebrew, you would say the El Shaddai. That's how you say it in the modern Hebrew. The word that I have spoken, is he telling you? That's why he's called the word. The word that I have spoken, the same shall judge him in the last day. So Yahushua is called the word. The reason he called the word, because he brings forth the word of the Most High. And he's telling you in John chapter 12, 48, if you reject him, this is what the second death is. If you reject him, for all those who don't make the first resurrection, whoo, the Father is going to judge you. This is why he says in the New Testament, all those who take part in the first resurrection, you get what? You have no part in the second resurrection. You don't have no part in that because you already been resurrected with him. You good. You golden. But those people that has not been resurrected, oh boy, the Father is going to judge them. And that's in the book of Revelation when it said a great white throne. When everything fled, it says, for I have not spoken of myself, telling you everything that he ever said out of his mouth. Everything that he ever said out of his mouth, it came from the Father. But the Father which sent me, he gave me a commandment, what I should say and what I should speak. And I know that that commandment is life everlasting. Whatsoever I speak, therefore, even as the Father said unto me, so I speak. He wasn't speaking what he wanted to speak, or his emotions, or how he felt about the situation. He spoke what the Father told him through the Rakah, through the Spirit, because he had all the spirits of the Father on him when he became that teacher. It tells us that in Isaiah chapter 11. Since I spoke on it, I'm going to show it. Here it is, Revelation 20 and 11. This is the judgment at the throne of the Most High. And I saw a great, great white throne, and him that sat on it. It's only one person that sit on the throne. One person. And that's the Father, the Ancient of Days, Yahawah. And listen, it says, it sat on it, from whose face the earth and the Shemayim fled away. They're not fleeing away from Hamashiach Yahushai, but they fleeing away from the Father. They fled away. And there was and there was found no place for them. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before the Most High, and the books were open. And another book was open, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books according to their works. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them, and they were judged, every man according to his work. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is what? The second death. These are all the people that didn't raise or get rose in the resurrection with Hamashiach Yahushua. Not everybody is going to raise in the first resurrection. So this is what he's trying to explain to these people that he's in front of in John chapter 12. Listen, if you reject me just now in 2026, when people reject you, they're not rejecting you, they're rejecting the Most High, because he sent you to them as an ambassador through Hamashiach Yahushua. And that's why he's telling us, when they reject you, they reject me, and they reject the one that gave the word, which is the Father. And as he says, I'm not going to judge you now because you rejected the word. You got one that's going to judge you. It's the one that sits on the what? The great white throne. Him, the Father. There it is there. So hopefully this message was edifying. I don't want another 20 minutes. I'm sorry. Hopefully this message was edifying. I'm going to stop right there. Let me make sure I get all of the comments before I close out. I believe a whole bunch of slop. I believe I may have read this. Hello, Yah, our Abba loves us and won't send us those. I read that one, Khan. And then it says the Most High commandments are not optional. Yeah, Khan. All praises. One of the best things about his commandments is that there are no loopholes. Oh, they try to get them, though. They try to get them. The Timothy says clickbait, Khan. And it's a lot of that right now. Unfortunate, because like you said, clickbait. They want to get them views up to get what? Money, revenue. Money, revenue. That's what it's all about, money. If they wasn't getting money, they wouldn't be putting in all that time. They wouldn't be putting up all that stuff. They wouldn't be, you know what I mean? It's all about money and revenue. And believe it or not, social status. You know, the more people see you, the more people know you, the more people call on you, who you are, what camp you in and all. It's all about social status and all that stuff, man. Unfortunate. Those are hirelings. They are not shepherds, Khan. Great parable, too. If you haven't read the parable of the hirelings, go back and read that in the book of John, Khan. Call hello, Yah, Khan. Also, it says, I just want to hear these words below. John 1:47. Yahawashi saw Nathanael coming to him and said, behold, an Israelite indeed, in whom no guile. YouTube is clickbait. Too many of them. Khan. All praises. The Aqua Authority says Khan. And then this is an Ak that I was having dialogue with back last night that left a comment on my short. All praises be to the Most High Yahawah that you tuned in, that you hear. He says, I'm glad you started to use Yah instead of Ahchyam Yahweh Shai. There's no power in idols. So last night I had posted a short, and this Ak left a message, and he was saying that I don't know if he knew that I knew these things or how. I'm not sure. But anyway, he left a comment. I said, peace and blessings, the water. And then I left some Hebrew stuff. And then come to find out, he was an Ak. He is a fellow Ak of ours, right? Fellow brother. I went to his thing. I seen the Hebrew writing. He had the the YHWH, and for those who know the Hebrew and which way is are written. So then, I let him know over here, we worship the Father. Yeah, I do call on the name Hamashiach Yahushua. I believe he's an Old Testament only brother. I'm not sure, but we do call on Hamashiach Yahushua, but we don't idolize him. He is just the Son. You get what I mean? We give praises to the Father. We only worship the Father. A lot of times in the New Testament, when people read that, they think it's giving glory to the Son, but it's not. All glory goes to the Father. All glory goes to the Father. Now, I do believe that he sent his only begotten Son, and he shed his blood for us. You get what I mean? I do believe that. But we worship the Father. It's only the Father that we worship, that we bow down to, we bow our heads to, we give honor and glory to, the Ancient of Days, the giver of life, and that's what it is here. So this is the brother right here. I believe it says, beyond myself, Israel. I believe that's the Ak name. You know what I mean? So listen, the water for being here, you know, like I said, I don't want to judge. I don't want to point. I don't know if it's Old Testament only. I'm not quite sure. But, you know, here we don't do back and forth. We don't do debates and going back and forth. I'm just happy you a brother. We ox. If you feel that, hey, did I use YAHAWAH? If you feel that, you know, that that's not right, you have that option. And I understand fully. But that doesn't mean we're not brothers. It is what it is. You get what I mean? The Aqua Dorothy, she says, that's all right, Khan. Mayana Pasha, she says, no idolizing here, Khan. The Ak right here, he says, you will always be my brother, but you got to drop the idol. See what I'm saying? If all glory goes to the Father, there's no need for Ahchyam YAHAWAH. Khan, like I say, I understand where you feel, where you stand with that, with the like I say, you must be Old Testament only. If you are Old Testament only, can you just say, Khan, I am? And if you are, I understand completely where you come from. You know, I understand that. But I do, like I say, I do believe he sent his son as a savior, just like he always sent a savior, right? Moses, Joshua, and many more. David, Jonathan, you know, all through the old scriptures. The Most High didn't come down and do it himself. He sent men, right? He sent men through the whole time, from Genesis to Malachi. And like I say, you didn't watch this whole lesson, but if you go back and you watch the whole lesson, like I say, the scriptures, which is Genesis to Malachi, right? Because there was no New Testament. There was no such thing as a New Testament. And like I tell people all the time on this channel, those are epistles. Those are letters that were written. Those are not scriptures. Those are letters. Scripture is from Genesis to Malachi. And even in those epistles, it tells us to worship who? The Father. Very simple. You can go to any book, start at any book, wherever you at. Matthew, Luke, Mark, John, 1 Peter, 2 Peter, Colossians, wherever you go to the first chapter, to the first verse. And what do? They always give praise to the Father. Let me show that real quick before I close out. And we could just pick one, you know. Everybody love Paul, so I just go to one of Paul's, right? Because everybody love Paul. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 1, right? He said, Paul, called an apostle of who? YAHAWAH Mashiach, through the will of who? The Most High. Right there, he's acknowledging that I'm only apostle. I'm only this because what? It's the will of the Most High. Verse 2, unto the church, which they lie, is really the body or Israel of who? The Most High, which is in where? Corinth. To them that are sacrificed or sanctified, Salakia, in Hamashiach YAHAWAH, called to be saints. You can only be a saint from Psalms 50 and 5, those that he made a covenant with all that in every place call upon the name of YAHAWAH Mashiach, our master, both theirs and ours. Grace be unto you and peace from who? Our Father, our Abba, Yahweh, Yah, as you say, and from the Adawan, YAHAWAH Mashiach. I thank the Most High. Look, who is he thanking? The Most High. Christians would say he thanking JC, but no, he's thanking who? The Most High, the Ancient of Days, always on your behalf for the grace of the Most High, which is given you by YAHAWAH Mashiach. Why is it grace? Because he laid down his life. He shed his blood. I mean, it's too much documentation to say that this man didn't walk the earth. You would have to deny all of the documentations, all the papyruses, all of this stuff that's documented. You would have to deny that. Now, if you just want to say he wasn't this and he wasn't that, like the Muslims, they believe, yeah, man walked the earth, but he wasn't necessarily the son of the Most High. Like I say, that's a lot of going back and forth. We just went over that. I just want you to know I'm knowledgeable of all these things. But I appreciate you. You, my brother. I love you. If you welcome to continue on, you welcome to stay on. You know what I mean? But, you know, that's just what it is. Well, it ain't even a gripe, you know. It ain't even a gripe. On the way to truth to life, no one can get to the Father except by me. Where is this in the Torah? Well, I'm not going to go into all that right now because, you know, I've been on for almost 2 hours, almost 3 hours. But watch all my other videos. You know what I'm saying? Or you could just email me because I don't do really this go back and forth. We already talked about that today. But if you would love to have conversation just as two ox talking, we can go over the Torah. We can go into that, you know. We can go in there. Because really, he everywhere, you know. Hamashiach Yahawashi is everywhere, you know. I mean, who made the earth? Who made it, you know? Because it started off with AHchyam. It didn't say the Most High. It didn't even talk about the Most High until chapter 2. You know, when it started off in Genesis chapter 1, which is called Bereshit in the Hebrew, modern, because that's what you probably deal with. AHchyam, or Elohim, as you probably would say in modern Hebrew, is plural, which means powers. So it was more than one working. So who were those that were working? You know, but like I say, all praises be to the Most High. My gripe is not who walked the earth, Khan. I would never, ever, or never deny Yahawashi Mashiach. No. I will not deny him. Most High sent him for us. All praises be to the Most High, Khan. You know, all praises be to the Most High. But like I say, if you want, you can email me anytime, any day, you know, and we can go over it. All you know, all love here. But here, I know a lot of our Ahchyam and a lot of brothers go off on Hamashiach and this, that, and the third. And listen, we believe in Hamashiach. We believe he's the only begotten son. We believe that he died for our sins, that he was hung on the tree, and he shed his blood for who? Israel's sins. Just like I read through the lesson in Hebrews chapter 9, verse 15, for those that were under the first covenant, it's always a sacrifice, whether it's bull, goats, oxen, pigeons, whatever, doves, whatever. There was always a sacrifice took to the priest. We believe that he was that sacrifice. That's why there's no temple right now. So I just want to know how you sacrificing for your sins. Are you waiting on David to come back? But that's a whole nother thing, like I said, with the Old Testament only, brothers. All praises be to the Most High. We getting ready to tune out. I go with this one and then we'll go out. JC might as well be an Israelite, but being an Israelite problem for me. Listen, well, I don't even deal with JC, but Hamashiach Yahawashi was an Israelite. He was from the tribe of Judah, like I got on my shirt right now. Let me move right now. In the Hebrew, or you can't see it, but Judah, which in the Hebrew is called YAHAWAH. You get what I'm saying? So that's what we believe. But we give praises here to the Most High, the Ancient of Days, the giver of life, the taker of life, our Father, your Father, APBTTTMH Yahweh, KAHALA Yahweh, BaShama Mashiach Yahawashi, Halawah. All praises be to the Ancient of Days, right? And his only begotten Son. So with that, hopefully this message was edifying. If you believe in your heart that this message was edifying, please share it to the people. Please share it, you know. And the water for everybody being here, the water for that Ahchyam joining us. You know, I believe, like I say, I think he's an Old Testament only brother, but still the water for him joining us, for being patient and not just really coming in here scoffing and going off and this, that, and the third. But all praises be to the Most High. I'll show this last one, Ak, and then we're going to get out of here and I'm gonna go to this video. Take with you words and turn Yahweh and say unto him, take away all the iniquity and receive us graciously, so we will render the calves of our lips. Hosea 4:2, Khan. This is how we repent. We don't need any blood, Khan. If that's how you believe, all praises be to the Most High. I'm going through the door, John chapter 10. You go that other way. Like he say, you try to get up any other way, you a thief and a robber. You get what I'm saying? It don't matter what you say, it's going to be through the Rakah, through the Spirit, through the Quadash Rakah. If you want to go up another way, by all means, you have that right. I love you as my Ak. If you want to go around the way, go around. I'm going through the door, which is the Son, the only begotten Son. The same one in Isaiah chapter 11 is written about. The same one in Isaiah 53 is written about. All these things is written in the Tanakh that is say that this man was going to come, right? So I'm going that way. If you want to go another way, that's on you. All praises be to the Most High Yahweh. KAHALA Yahweh BaShama Mashiach Yahawashi. Like I said, I was going to play that video. I'm going to play it. The brother Timothy says, Hamashiach is the Torah too. Khan. All praises. The Aqua Authority said, Con. Come on, no. They'll be like that in John 8. Come on, Ak. Come on, Ak, about drink the blood. You sound like them Pharisees and the scribes. They're really don't tell me you don't have that understand. What? Oh man. All right, Ak. You have a beautiful night, Ak. You know what I'm saying? All praises. The Aqua Authority said, that's right. We can't get to the Father without the Son. Con. Anyway, here it is here. Once again, Shalawam, peace and blessings to everybody. Kwam Yasharala. And with that, I'm going to play this video. The Ahchyam that did this. Beautiful, beautiful. And this is Zephaniah. It's called Zephaniah. So check it out. I'm going to share it right now. Like I say, it's beautiful. I hope you guys enjoy it. And I'll see you Tuesday, 10 a.m. That's the next time, next lesson, Tuesday, 10 a.m. This video is called Zephaniah. The link is in the description. If you want to hear it, listen to it yourself. Until then, Tuesday at 10 a.m., Yahawah willing, we'll be here to do another lesson.
Yeah. Prophets ain't dead. Just waiting on the right voice. Zephaniah flow show. They ain't wanna listen when the word came. Now the storm about to fall with a pure flame. Judgment in the wind, no one else to blame. He hit his face, now they calling names. Gotta change, can't sleep through the signs. They playing with sin like it's fine. Zephaniah said that they gon' shine, but only for the chosen line. Yeah. Prophecy rolling, I'm back in the city. Judah in motion, but most looking pity. I would change, but the heart's still gritty. Trying to find true where the world look pretty. Rap in the sky, no light and smoke. Israel blind, but the prophet woke. Ain't no peace when the trumpet spoke. That day gon' hit like fire and choke. Manasseh sin, the prophets bled. Zephaniah won what the Lord just said. The fake gon' fold, the real get fed. In the day of wrath, ain't nothing misled. The Most High hid his face from lies. Judgment coming like fire from skies. You better move right, better realize. Before that day when the proud man died. They ain't wanna listen when the word came. Now the storm about to fall with a pure flame. Judgment in the wind, no one else blame. He hit it fast, now they calling names. We gotta change, can't sleep through the sign. They playing with sin like it's fine. Zephaniah said that they gon' shine, but only for the chosen line. He said, gather up fast. Nation, I desire this truth gon' last. Before that decree, before that blast. Repent now, don't wait till the wrath. They mocking now, but the trumpet near. When the sky crack open, no man cheer. Fire in the heaven, fear gon' sear. And the wicked gon' drown in tears. But the righteous hears, let it plan. Zephaniah spoke it, I understand. This a real walk, not a brand. I move for the king, not the gram. They preaching lies for a little blue check, but I'm building up Zion if I net. Every bar I spit, it's a soul I protect. If a guy who we are there, what he resurrect. They ain't wanna listen when the word came. Now the storm about to fall with a pure flame. Judgment in the wind, no one else to blame. He hit his face, now they calling names. Gotta change, can't sleep through the sign. They playing with sin like it's fine. Zephaniah said that they gon' shine, but only for the chosen.